Greetings and welcome, everyone. It is time for Brony Dungeons and Dragons post-season 2 live stream.
Yay!
Hooray!
And we have a whole bunch of people joining us today. Of course, we have the regular crew, starting with our Dungeon Master Josh Scorcher, who has been tormenting us in so many ways over this past year. You want to say hi, Josh?
Hey, you guys keep going back, okay? So it's your fault.
That's victim blaming!
Blame the victim. Blame the victim. I see how it is.
And I would also like to
blaming when it's
Lady in the Dragon Mask. You want to tell us about that, Lightning?
Nah.
Please tell us about that.
Okay. This was a birthday present I got during High Roller PonyCon, courtesy of Science Steel Rail. He wanted me to play the part. Now I am Ember the Dragon.
Cool.
Hey, coming from a dragon here, I think it looks great, Blissy. So
Yeah.
No bias. Yeah, no bias.
pulls out the dragon.
And next up, let's see. We have Voice of Reason. You want to say hi, Voice?
Hello, everybody.
Mhm.
Also, hi, Sega.
Do you have anything you're looking forward to discussing today, Voice?
A couple of things. Also, I have a question for Josh I want to ask later, but we'll get to that.
Oh boy.
Okay, now I'm nervous.
Finally made him nervous in return. Retaliation is ours.
After that, we have Eliora, who not only has her trademarked purple hair, but I believe she showed us a little
I don't have.
raven.
Hang on, let me see something if I can make it more visible.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Oh, there's a little raven in there. Okay.
Got a boosted hair clip.
I saw these at a store one time and I had to get it. 'Cause I've got two of them, so like, hey, Lucid is best bird.
Yes. I'm glad that Lucid was able to join us today, even just in spirit. And then we have the smiling face of Finn. You want to say hi, Finn?
You see, everybody, the hat's off. I do have hair.
Heyo.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Taka. Hi, everybody. How you doing?
And now hundreds of people are cursing the fact that they lost a bet.
Well, I lost that
thought you were
$100.
more blonde.
And then we have Sweetie Bloom.
Oh, hi.
Don't really have a camera for Sweetie or myself today. I'm not entirely sure why Google Hangouts is not being kind to us, but we're still here.
I could have turned on. I could have turned on my camera, but I decided to spare the audience the pain.
wait a minute. We are all not afraid to show our mugs here, sweetie.
Yeah.
And besides, you're pretty.
You're super
want
pretty. I've seen
to
you at the
join
con.
Doc in his solidarity.
Aw.
Hey, I would have my camera on if it would actually work right now. I really wanted to have be part of this group here.
And I would have my camera on if amongst other things, turning my camera on didn't end up making the stream freeze for me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
All right.
See, bandwidth issues. Yeah, I can
Also,
understand that.
Also, since Ellie and Bliss are in character in costume, I'm also in costume as the faceless man behind the curtain.
There you are.
Well, we
You
do
can make
have
it
a
work.
few extra people joining us who aren't part of the core crew of Brony D&D. First up, Josh, I think there is someone sitting right next to you over there. You want to introduce?
Oh, he said, do you want it?
He's the person
Josh.
sitting.
You two are too freaking adorable. I
Pay
swear.
attention to the woman who does the voice of Rayan.
The adorable voice.
It's Sunshine Babu.
Yes, I'm Ari, the fiery secretary. You may see me drifting around the chat and whatnot. And then I'm also this one's special sun pony.
Yay!
She's also one of the most excitable people when it comes to playing characters in Brony D&D.
Oh yeah.
I want to play everybody.
She's so cute. And we all love Ari.
We love our Ari.
She is best secretary.
And Ryan loves all of you.
Yay!
Yay!
And then we have another person from behind the scenes, Mr. Luna Corva. You want to explain what you've been contributing to the series?
Based on for-profit creative consultant for the DM.
Yeah, he is my resident plot hole mender. It's like I would come to him with, it's like, hey, I want to do this idea. Try and poke holes in it and make sure it's airtight.
Oh, if this was anyone
And
else.
because it could possibly be.
Yeah, and also he's been that. Also, he's been the little devil whispering on my shoulders, like, "Hey, I want to do that. I want to do this idea to torture the group. Don't talk me out of it."
Josh, I think I'll explain it to the audience the same way I explained it to the other players. So, saying this to the audience, you guys remember Jeremy, Josh's brother, who designed the labyrinth?
Yep.
And how everyone was like, "Oh, you are." Put them through.
I think
your
you
voice
just
cut
cut out there.
Whose voice cut out?
Yours. Try again.
It's about as well as a screen door on a submarine. Anyway, where was I?
The
Labyrinth.
Yeah. So you guys were like, "Screw you, Jeremy," or like, "Curse you, Jeremy, for every cruel thing you had to go through in the labyrinth." Well, Jimmy was the shoulder angel to Josh. To put that in perspective, he was.
And the microphone cut you out again.
Basically,
Son of a cracker!
Okay.
What?
Well, at least I know who to kill next time I see him.
Yeah. Basically, the little twist regarding the
baby.
Yeah. The little twist regarding the child. Jeremy actually encouraged me not to do that.
And I was the one going, "Do it, do it, do it."
As well as I know you by now, dude, I completely believe it. Because
Yeah,
you
I
aren't
believe that.
you aren't evil. Evil little bird.
But we still love him.
Malicious.
Like Lucid shakes his head at you. Dude.
Well, finally, we still have one more person introduced who was actually a guest dungeon master for one session in particular, a long while back. Tarek,
Hi,
what
everybody.
caused you to take part in these crazy shenanigans in the first place?
Crazy shenanigans. That's awesome.
And an understatement.
I've been following your so-called crazy shenanigans on and off as you've progressed. And one time, Josh actually approached me and said, "Hey, you've been a dungeon master for many years. Why don't you try being a dungeon master for one of the sessions? Just have fun with it." And so I said, "Sure, why not?"
Yeah.
Best Dragon Bro!
And we all ended up fighting a tree.
Yep.
Yeah.
That tree,
When you say it like that, it sounds really stupid.
that tree succeeded in killing one of the party at the first round.
I love that when you said that for my screen, it as soon as you said it succeeded in killing somebody, it immediately switched over to voice.
Injustice.
If I recall, I supluxed that tree.
That's
Well,
what I did.
Yes, and as I recall, I rolled a natural 20 to save Faye Thurin from the twisting vines.
Puny vines.
Someone made a comic out of that part.
Yeah.
That was a character who's died twice in this campaign.
Yeah, boys. How's your death count looking?
Wait, my death count?
Yeah.
Your
You
character.
actually died the most.
Well, let's see. I got knocked on. Well, I dropped my health to 0 once, and then I actually died. That's actually the question, Josh, I wanted to ask you. Regarding Power Word Kill, did you actually intend for me to die? My character to die?
Well, actually, I think that was... Was it
Okay,
Josh,
let me
when we were coming up with the warden strategy, was it my idea or yours to...
Hey, let Josh answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me answer. Okay. So, thing is with regarding Power Word Kill is that I honestly didn't know who was going to die. It's like I was thinking, I was kind of leaning towards Owen maybe for it to die to Power Word Kill, but thing is that I try to follow the rules the best I can, and Power Word Kill, it can only kill a person who has less than 100 health.
Yeah,
because Owen was so beefy,
wasn't gonna happen.
Wasn't gonna happen. He had more than 100 health at the time. It's like, oh shoot,
Vain Insane, thank you very much.
Eeny, meeny, miny, voice. You die.
I think it actually kind of worked out. I think it kind of worked out in the end.
It's like it worked out because Jalaron got a lot of development, and I also felt like it thematically fit better to have him play chess against Asmodeus.
Yeah,
that was a good scene.
Well, also keep in mind that Owen's kind of the resurrector.
Yeah,
so killing him would
if
have
Owen,
been...
I'd be like,
problem.
Owen's coming back as a badger because that's all my character would be able to do.
I'm pretty sure that Owen would be incredibly miffed at that.
No, he's like,
The badger would just follow Rose around, constantly giving a disapproving glare.
But
Honey
okay,
Badger does
but
not
then it'd be
approve.
revenge for him turning Jalarum into a pebble.
Probably.
That's kind of one of
the comments.
That's kind of one of the things that I've never seen this happen with the reincarnation spell, but I kind of want it to happen. It's reincarnation. You're reincarnated as a bugbear. Kill me and try again.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's probably how it goes.
Statement in the sense: if Jalarum dies one more time, he gets a free Sunday.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's like he's got like one of those punch cards. It's like die 7 times and get a free Sunday.
He's our Chaozu.
So now, here's my question: where would he go to redeem that coupon?
Probably the tower.
Yeah, Bokum's library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he just call on Erevan and be like, "Hey, sup?"
Yeah, I'm owed 1 free drink.
Yeah, hey, can I have my free frozen yogurt now?
All right, so we have everybody. We have established. Are you okay, Ellie?
There's metal things under the table. I just scratched my finger on it. I'm fine.
Okay, good. All right, so we've got everybody. Now, shall we start with Q&A, or is there a certain topic that people want to discuss?
We should talk about topics first and then do the Q&A.
Okay.
Okay.
So, all right, because I'm kind of the one in control, I say shipping first.
Yeah!
I guess that means I'm out.
Oh no, you're not! Oh no, you're not, my good friend.
Get back here, Doc, or we will drag you back in here.
I mean, Doc can talk about this all he wants.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Voices are giving me a headache.
So why don't we start?
Okay. Oh wait, hang on. Someone said obviously it would be at TGI Die Days.
What?
Whoa.
You would TGI Die Days.
Where
All
do they
right.
live
So,
and how do they
anyways,
kill them?
so shipping. Honestly, romance and shipping. I was not intending for that to happen in this campaign, mainly because I personally do not like. I cannot roleplay romance.
Time out. You invited the queen of shipping into this game, and you did not expect shipping.
Well,
Hey, let's
It
be
was a lack of
fair.
oversight on my part,
wanna
okay?
I want to
Hang
give
on,
the
pause,
audience
let
the
me talk.
biggest twist here. I didn't intend there to be shipping either. I actually
What?
actively did not want there to be shipping in this campaign. I
wanted a
played
break
around
from
with it a little bit for fun, but I actually did not want that to be a major part of the story. It just developed on its own.
That should have
And
been
we're
your
glad
cutie
it
mark.
did.
If I
That
can
should
say
have been your
something
cutie
here.
mark.
Yeah, Shay wants to say something.
Yep. That's actually what was to the shipping's benefit. My experience in role-playing games, limited as it may be, is that when it comes to romance, the ones who try to force it and go like, "Oh, our character's in love," or "My character's in love with this one's," they're the ones that end up being really painful and grossing. But when it just comes up,
Yeah, like gradually
that's when it
develops
actually ends
over
up being
time.
really cute.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honest, I think the first real instance of shipping that happened in the campaign came about because of a nightmare.
Yup.
So you could blame Owen for starting all of this.
Ironic.
Yep.
So now Owen is the shipmaster, is that right?
Yeah.
He's the captain of the ship.
Launch the ships!
Wait.
Captain of the ship.
Mind blown. Mind blown.
Oh yeah. I remember because because of Amber's fear of spiders.
Yeah, Amber and Ivan were basically sleeping together, so it was beautiful.
No.
Figuratively.
I was playing her a little song to make her sleep better.
Phrasing. You so did that on purpose.
I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah, but I just think it's funny. You know, I kind of imagining like the story, like maybe like during the wedding, like the stories. It's like if it weren't for Owen, we wouldn't get together, and Owen's just gonna be in there at the table, just like glumly eating cake, and just like
He just kind of like puts his face like behind his menu. It's like, ugh.
Actually,
what have I done?
You know that as a cleric, how likely is it that those being shipped are just going to ask him to officiate the wedding?
Yes, please.
Well, is anything like
as long as he doesn't touch either the bride or the groom, I think we're solid.
Well,
Okay, but he has to do
knowing what we do know about Owen now,
Guys, should we be concerned about that face Josh was just making?
But
Crazy.
Oh, no.
Josh is thinking we're all doomed.
Crazy.
I'm just trying to think about the absolute worst thing you could ask Owen to do, and that's gotta be among the top 5.
Owen, would you be the godfather of my kid?
Josh, you look like you're about to eat somebody. Can you please stop?
Yeah, the face, man.
Please
The face.
continue, Josh. It's scaring them. Please continue.
We're giving
Like
him
an
ideas.
I was just gonna
sinister
say, in terms of wedding stuff, if any of the characters are anything like one of mine, then I would imagine that they would actually ask one of the gods to officiate. It's like instead of asking for a priest, just go cut the middleman out and go straight to, "Hey, Amata, do you want to officiate our wedding?"
I mean,
no.
No, they can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, why not?
Why
It'd be
not?
cool, but I don't think you could do that.
The
Well,
question
first
is,
of all,
would they?
Amarta on the mortal plane, she is like a tavern keeper / pirate sort of person.
yeah, she likes to keep her
He's more of a tavern wench,
What?
unofficial.
Oh yeah, good point.
Paler, Paler might be able.
Also,
to.
isn't wench supposed to be a slur?
Well, no.
It depends on the era, dude.
It's a thing of the era.
Taylor would probably be a good choice.
Yeah.
And if we're going for Elven wedding,
Again, the little Mara could also play at the wedding, but then again, what happened last time?
yeah.
Well,
Look,
Mm.
besides, we've got Ivan.
Yeah.
But
He'd play at his own
but
wedding.
yeah,
you know,
but-
Guy's voice is trying to say something.
yeah, but in the other case,
What?
Corellin would be the better choice if Faethern and
Jalrum.
Jalrum ended up going because Corellin is the leader of the Celadrin, I think it's the name.
Yeah.
So he'd be perfect to officiate. Ervin, no.
Isn't Corellin like the leader of?
All elves.
Isn't Corellin like the leader of all elves except the Drow?
Yeah,
Except the drow.
Oh, complicated stories.
yeah. So something
I think
something
it
to
wasn't
read up on if you're interested.
I think we're off topic though, guys.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. Shipping.
But actually, that will talk about shipping. Jalorm and Faith Earns was probably the most natural.
Yeah, I think so. Like,
Yeah, but it was unexpected. I did not expect that to happen.
Well,
No,
here's
Honestly,
that's
wait,
right,
really?
no.
Well, here's the thing. When when General Urdus gave the orders for Jalrum to protect Faith Thurin, it started out, okay, this is a bodyguard role. I have to have another task for myself to do alongside of, all the other tasks that were going on at the time. Then I think what started the turning point was finding out the letter that Theoden gave Theoden had for Jalrum and Eleanor. Where at the moment where he starts when he sort of sort of defeated, like he couldn't do anything, and then finding Aimer.
Yeah.
That was
when the shipping. Sorry,
Yeah, because see, when they found the letter, Faye's like, wow, I actually get how he's feeling right now. And then Eimer comes up and it's like, well, here's the live version of if Sucky Daddy were still alive for the half-elf.
Daddy
Except
issues.
100 times worse.
I think
Daddy
it's
also
like
brings
that
people
pointed
together.
Out that Amber's the only one with a current live good father figure.
I don't even have that bad of a.
Except maybe Ivan has daddy issues.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to do with Hawthorne, because it's just like, okay, everyone else has a sucky daddy. I kind of want to give one of them a good dad, okay?
And I'm kind of happy that you did that, because I didn't want to go for a sad, dark past. I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Come on.
Wanted to be the happy
Or to
daddy.
compensate, I gave her two good
Diving
dads.
the talk.
Yeah, she got two. She
got
got
two.
two father figures.
Two good dads.
Can I say a couple? I say a couple of things here?
Yeah.
Sure.
First of all, it really would not make sense for Amber to have, a dark and tragic past, considering how bubbly she was when we all first met her.
Yep.
She was like, "Oh, I like you humans." Aside from Ivan, she was probably the most happy-go-lucky out of all of them. So tragic past just would have made no good sense.
Yeah.
The other thing is, so basically, for shipping for both couples.
Oh,
Your microphone cut out
Cut
again.
out again,
Former
bro.
was the cut.
Dude,
Is your mom with that mouth?
Now for your entertainment, ladies and
Okay.
gentlemen, we present Mad Dog Luna Corva.
Okay, fourth of all, ow my throat. And fifth of all, and third of all, what I was saying was, trauma seems to be the catalyst for all the ships.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I
pretty
guess
much.
me and Ivan are the
It's like
exception.
Amber has a
Yeah.
trauma.
We kind of just
Amber
evolved
has a
on based on.
trauma.
No,
Yeah.
no, even with
No,
you two,
it was trauma.
trauma.
It was because
Because-
she
Yeah.
had a
Yeah.
nightmare and you were comforting her.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was the
It's
catalyst.
like Amber and Ivan had their
Yeah,
nightmare
oh, like-
trauma, and Faye and Jay had the parent trauma.
Oh, there you go.
Also,
Tragedy brings people
question
together.
for
What can
you,
you say?
Josh.
Misery craves company.
Exactly.
Also,
So
got a
why
question
doesn't
for you,
Owen?
Josh.
You know what? No, I'm not going to say that. I was about to say something really, really bad about Owen. I'm not going to do that. I like that Dr. Wolf is my friend.
Say
Speaking
it.
of Owen,
Say it. Say it.
I want
No.
to say something here.
Yep.
I have grown up with Dr. Wolf. I've known him for all of his life.
Obviously.
And I've known the type of attitude that he has, the type of social interactions that he normally has. And I can honestly say I was very surprised that he not only created this character, but was able to effectively play to the chaotic neutral alignment that he has. And so I just want to say bravo to Dr. Wolf for being able to play something that just is completely out of his character.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, as you've seen, like a lot of actors who play, villains who play villainous characters. Like, for example, a great example would be Heath Ledger, who played the Joker. It's like he played this absolutely twisted character, and yet everyone was saying how nice of a person he was when they worked with him. it's like the easy it is to play twisted or not very nice people.
You would know, wouldn't you?
Oh,
I'm not nice, so I'm kind of an exception.
Yes, you are. You're a little fluffy.
Oh, we love you.
You're the fluffy pretzel.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a hug.
I can hurt all of you.
Apparently, I can't hug or boop this guy because he takes it as an insult.
Heath Ledger.
I hugged him. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger is what you call a method actor. He has actually been trained. He has taken years of training on how to become that psychotic character. Dr. Wolf, on the other hand, has had how much acting experience did you have?
Yeah,
I know you were in the music name once, and other than that, I don't know.
Well, you've been doing a lot of acting with stuff.
I do dramatic readings on YouTube.
This is true, you do.
If you
And of
call
course, the
that
analysis
acting
series
classes.
is
You're saying
acting.
as Dr. Facilier, does that count?
Now, okay, yeah, that was pretty good.
That was a good cover you did of Friends on the Other Side.
Right.
All right, now
Got a question.
Oh.
I think one of the biggest moments in the series, pretty much in regards to the characterization of the main.
Did you almost say main
The
six?
main six? Wow.
Careful.
All right, who's Fluttershy? Let's duke it out.
Anyways,
Ivan is Fluttershy.
Sweetie, you're the druid. Of course, you're Fluttershy. And
Anyway.
Insult!
Dibs on Pinkie Pie.
Anyway, y'all.
That has been thrown.
Owen being Borgren Vineblight.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Let me explain a few things.
Oh, the camera came on.
My rage.
You are still salty over that, aren't you?
Still salty.
I should explain a few things about that because Josh and I had to keep our lips sealed for nearly a year
Really long time, yes.
in order to make that work.
Well, given that Claire is still reeing over it, I think you did it.
Yeah.
All the read.
May I share something around that on my end?
Fire away, dude.
All right. A question that I'd like Josh to answer after this is why did Erdos pick Jalaran to be Faye's bodyguard? But save that to later. Anyway, so the thing is, I didn't actually start watching the Brony D&D series until you guys were a fair while into it. But Josh still had been coming to me with all his stuff, so I knew about Owen's whole, if he touches people, he curses them thing. So every time he was touching someone, it's like, oh, I know exactly what he's doing, and they have no idea. But then I thought, the problem is, that stuff happened like weeks and months ago.
And
probably where did it come?
You're choppy right now.
Yeah, the last thing we heard was weeks ago.
Yeah, okay. It happened months and weeks ago, so by the time the players got up to the point where the reveal happened, they would be like, and remember that time I touched you back in the arena? Wait, you touched us in the arena? Also, that sounded really weird when I said it out loud, but either way. My point being, it's like, how are we going to get them to remember all these little so what if I made some kind of montage scene to play for them to give them all flashbacks of all those
That audio
moments that he
montage was all him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was effective too.
It was really
making
effective.
it.
We did it to make sure you guys wouldn't feel blindsided, like that. We wanted the twist to feel fair.
Don't you mean Borgin blindsided?
Boo!
That doesn't really work.
Boo!
That doesn't really work, but it makes them suffer, so I like it.
I did want to mention that when Josh and I were first rolling up this character, and Josh had, I specifically wanted there to be something about Owen that I disagreed with. I wanted to play a character that I really couldn't be in normal life.
So no wonder he gambles.
Yeah, that's part of it.
True.
Gamble.
Yeah, cheater.
But speaking of,
Hang on. I still have much that I want to talk about here.
Yeah.
Now, Josh, if I recall correctly, I did want to come up with a scenario that if I was the party healer and everybody was depending on me to keep them alive, I wanted to add a twist. I wanted to add something to where even though I was helping people, there needed to be a risk involved with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Josh who was looking through books or notes or something that he came up with, hey, there's this really interesting curse that I've heard about that I think would work really, really nicely here. And the more we discussed it, the more we talked about it, the more we realized we're going to have to keep this under wraps for a very, very long time.
Yeah, actually, it wasn't until recently that I actually went back to the beginning of the like the entire adventures, and I remember, I think it was either during the prison or in the arena. I think Josh asked me to roll twice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Every
then
remember that.
time Josh asked people to roll twice, that's the bad luck curse.
I didn't realize, and I didn't realize it at the time, but now
I don't think any of us did.
Yeah.
No, but I think I do agree with their decision to sort of scrap that, because it would have become obvious as the campaign drew on, and we became more and more familiar with the rules, and we would start questioning it more and more.
Yeah.
We'd be like,
Also,
why are you constantly asking us to roll twice? You know,
Yeah.
I think they made the good decision to be like, maybe not. Maybe we'll just
I
have
thought,
karma.
I thought it was more like the roll didn't register right on Josh's end. It's like, no, can you re-roll that again? It's like, okay, I'll re-roll. I got like a 2 or something. 2 or something. Like, nope, shocked.
Well,
Whoops.
voice before the reveal of Vorgren Vineblight, you did make the connection that the curse had to do with bad luck.
Yeah. That was actually really impressive. I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was at work when I was brainstorming something for thing for the journal, and I think it was going back to the I think it might have been looking back at the what was it when I accidentally sliced Ruth's hand with the scimitar.
Oh yeah.
Right.
It's like, oh, that must have been a bad luck. It's like, wait, how did that happen? And I remember watching the campaign. It's like, oh, so did someone touch Ruth during that time? And then it wasn't until I realized that when I hugged Owen, I passed on that bad luck, and I accidentally dropped the scimitar into scimitar blade in Ruth's hand.
Oopsie.
And so I went back.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, I was saying like, so I went back and looking at all the other campaigns that we had. So it was like, okay, like I heard that, like, keep on hearing that term "bad luck," and I remember specifically, it's starting at, I think it was when we were in the shed, when we had what was it, Simula, when Simula was bound, and they were talking about the curse of Vorgren of Blind Blight. And say, oh, it's just something of bad luck. It's like, okay. Bad luck is a connection. Problem is, okay, so who do I connect this to?
Speaking also of Vorgren Vineblight. So, sweetie, how'd you like that anagram?
Okay, let's talk about the anagram for a second. That was the part that got me the most salty.
No kidding! You started screaming in the middle of the freaking conversation. You never do that.
No, because what got me particularly upset at that is because everything else, like Josh said, I actually, because of just how my brain works, I didn't although the audio was great, I didn't need it. I already when Owen stepped forward as Vorgan Vineblight, everything ran through my head. All of the things that, and I was just like, great. Like, and I was like, they set that up and I didn't catch it and blah, blah, blah. And I'm mad at myself. The anagram. That's another story entirely for a couple of reasons. One thing, I knew that Josh liked using anagrams. He used it in most of the deities, but I'm dyslexic. Anagrams don't connect in my head, and I told Josh this. I told Josh I can't work with anagrams. They don't work in my head. So he gives us, the people in the fans, they had, weeks between the two parts of the session. But for us, it was the same instance, the hint about the anagram and the reveal of what the anagram meant in the same session, expecting me to put that together in a single
I don't think he expected you to
throttle them.
I don't think he expected you to put it together at all.
It was supposed to be right under your nose the entire time, so don't whine.
It's just
Wait a minute.
Actually, funny thing. When we first talked about the anagrams and the deities, I actually thought that Owen was actually Oladamra.
Oladamara, dude.
Yeah.
Oladamara.
So that's why I got Owen Lightbringer. It's like, okay, so it has similar. It has a similar phonetic.
It has an O and an I in it and an L somewhere.
Yeah. So I thought, no, you can't I thought for the longest time afterwards that Doc was playing a demigod, playing a god or a demigod.
No, that would have been that we would have called so much hacks on. Like I don't like.
It would have broke.
Okay, I straightened up letting Amber play a dragon. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, he does have a point.
And Ivan being able to win even after rolling a 1, like that's the level of OP we're at. Having actually in the party might be a bit much.
Ivan's as close as we need. Ivan's as close as we need to get in an actual deity in the party. He is the most broken character in the game.
Ivan?
Yes, Ivan. Since when? Are you serious?
I'm sorry for being broken.
We need it though. We need your brokenness. It's needed.
Dude, Ivan is so broken he can roll a nat 1 and still win.
Well, give me a little bit of credit there. I actually had to think of a way out of that one. So
yeah. No, it worked.
Which
it totally
awesome.
Works. But I'm just saying.
Now, see, Ellie, I have to let you know, as I've been a dungeon master for more than 20 years, and I've watched Finn play his character, and I've watched Owen come alive, and I have always tried to reward good role playing. Really gets into their character and does some really good role playing. I want to reward that. And so even if they're rolling a natural 1, but they come up with some really clever way to get around it, I'm going to let them have it.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it's unfair. I totally agree. And Josh does the same thing. I specifically remember, I don't remember what fight it was. I think it was against the T-Rex, where Voice was actually coming up with a bunch of great ideas to use against the Druid, but we kept on having to say no because rules, and Josh was actually getting really frustrated because he wanted to reward Voice's planning.
Yeah, the first time I thought, oh wait, let's knock this guy out with the drow poison. And then Claire said, wait, no, don't do that. Druids are immune to poison. It's like I want to do it.
I know it was such a great idea.
And then
I remember that what's it called? That one time when we had the what was it called? When we had the fire and the ice deities, and I said, let's try and make them take out each other by hugging each other, and it's like it didn't work because the roll wasn't high enough.
It was actually. I think it was actually going to work, but the problem was we didn't have the air elemental combine as well. I think that was. I think that from Josh revealed that was actually the easy solution out of it later on.
Can I say a couple of things?
We tried.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've been trying to say some stuff for a while. I just didn't want to interrupt you guys. But first of all, Yeah, it's probably a good thing that Josh is no bullcrap rule with you guys and with himself. So, if there's a weakness if there's a weakness to exploit in his characters, he'll let you exploit it. It won't be like, oh, you came up with a completely fair way to say beat Simula early, but I wanted her to last a few more rounds, so it doesn't work because I say so. He's always done good to avoid stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's always
also,
reason.
In terms of Finn being
Sorry.
What? In terms of Finn being OP, if you are not someone who's had a lot of experience or with D&D and the culture around it, you have no idea just how weird the words "the bard is OP" sound. The bard is usually treated as basically one of the most useless because it's such a jack of all trades. It's like, okay, it can kind of do spellcasting, kind of fight, and kind of do stealth stuff. So it's like, okay, instead of doing why don't you pick someone who's, actually good at some of those things? Because normally the bard's like, I can stealth kind of. Well, we've got a rogue here who can do it better than you, so what's the point?
But that's what makes Ivan so brilliant, because he didn't try to do a little bit of everything. He specializes in support. And
I specialize in support spells and diplomacy. Basically anything that doesn't involve fighting. That's what Ivan's super good at. And
because he focused so hard on that, that's what makes him so freaking strong.
Yeah. And since
he's just incredibly useful no matter what situation.
Yeah.
That was happenstance.
I actually feel kind of special now. I'm a good bard, and bards aren't usually that good. Yay!
You're always special.
Final thing I wanted to say was in regards to Owen and how Doc played him as a character that was very different from himself. Because remember the point where chaotic neutral?
You broke up.
I talked about the chaotic neutral druid thingy.
Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, not the druid. Where Jaminia.
No, Owen.
Where Jaminia was really surprised that Owen was chaotic neutral.
Mm-hmm.
And Owen's like, what, do you think I'm this happy father figure? Because that was actually something I was thinking of, and I discussed it with both Doc and Josh, because the whole, Papa Owen meme. And I was like, okay, I think people who were following the meme are kind of getting Owen confused. Dr. Wolf is, the kindly father figure. There's Papa Wolf, but Owen, he's not that at all. He's basically said several times, your only worth to me is keeping me alive, and I will happily abandon you if it saves my own skin.
I wouldn't go
literally...
Yeah, I don't
no,
think
not
that
far, but he has said on more than once, if you become too troublesome, or if you're really bringing down everything that much, I'll leave you behind without a second thought.
Yeah, it's less.
And there's also the whole, literally mind raping them all in their sleep. So that's a thing.
Yeah, but it's like
it's a trope on TV tropes. It refers to any time when they mentally screw with people or try to break them with mental powers.
All right. Well, let me ask everybody this. What was going through everyone's minds when I intentionally set up the warden as the fault target of creating all these dreams all this time, when in reality, I was the one writing them for every one of your characters?
You know how hard it was for me to keep my character from just wanting to smack Owen when she found out the truth?
Aww.
She was mad at Owen. Very mad.
So.
Faye wasn't angry, but to say she was pleased would be completely incorrect. She was just like, that explains very much, and now I need to make sure my door is locked when I sleep.
Exactly. And my mind too.
It's like the only reason why Amber didn't punch Owen right then and there is because, well, he did save my life several times.
So I guess it kind of balances out.
I guess it balances out.
I think you guys were still on the high of, yeah, we just had this epic moment of banishing of Valor together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
It seemed like a good moment to say, oh, by the way, here are all the skeletons in my closet.
That one in particular, though, was for me. I was like, oh yeah, that was tinfoil hat number 367.
Honestly, if it had been me in that scenario playing the character I normally play, which is not actually the character that I'm playing in the RPG in Season 3, because that character is actually kind of a diversion from the kind I normally play, but the kind I normally play wouldn't have been angry. He wouldn't have been angry about it, but he would have, defended Owen in conversation, probably bought him a drink, waited until the two of them were alone, and then slit Owen's throat.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
wow. Because, well, he's a liability. He's been sabotaging the group for who knows how long now. The bad luck thing, that's an accident, okay? He can't control it. The drink thing, okay, now he's been intentionally messing with our minds, intentionally sabotaging us. We cannot, we're in a dangerous mission. We cannot trust him. Best to get rid of him.
Well, he wasn't intentionally sabotaging us. It was kind of the opposite. He was trying to train us for what was to come.
He was trying to. I feel like it was more like he was trying.
I kind of
depend on him.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It seemed more to me. This is just me being cynical, or probably almost certainly is me being cynical. But it's the whole. I was just felt like Owen was making. The reason was, like he said, I needed you all to depend on me. So it's like, you're basically potentially sabotaging, because, Amber could have just ended up being permanently paralyzed with fear, could have done who knows what kind of psychological, and it was just to depend on you. Yeah. Yep, cutting his throat.
Yeah, anyways, next topic.
Okay, so sanctify the wicked.
Gee, I wonder who wants to talk about that.
Can I just ask everyone to be careful with spoilers?
Guys, DM's trying to start.
Yeah.
Okay, so thing is that kind of ties into why I made Jaminia in the first place. It's like I came across this article, I was just like studying, trying to get some ideas. I came across this entire like really, really long article about tieflings in general. And this was like way back at the beginning of the campaign. Mm-hmm. And I found there's this paragraph of like what tieflings are good, what kind of tiefling would be good for what particular class. And then they had this entire paragraph dedicated to a sort of Tiefling Paladin. And I remember reading that paragraph and just becoming so inspired by it. It's like, wait, a tiefling who chooses to throw off the demonic, the devilish influence, to ignore the dark whispers, to be this, but despite all the prejudice that tieflings always get, despite that, all these people like wanting to kill them and hurt them down, they always rise above it and become something greater. I just found that idea very, very inspiring, and I wanted to put that into, and that's how Jaminia came to be.
Yeah.
But the thing is like also it said in that very same thing that tieflings, no matter what they do, their souls are kaput. Are kaput to hell. And that's something that I felt would help with her character development. And unfortunately, yeah. And the thing is that I really like Jaminia, but I take a Don Bluth approach to storytelling. It's like, yes, I'll make characters suffer. I will borderline torture characters, but I want them to have a happy ending.
That's the Don Bluth formula. Yeah, kids can take whatever you throw at them as long as there's a happy ending attached to it.
Yes.
Yeah, because there was totally a happy ending at the end of season 2.
Yeah, I wanted
Jaminia to have the end.
Yeah. Thing is, I wanted Jaminia to have a happy ending. So I started looking around at, and I came across this spell called in the Book of Exalted Deeds called Sanctify the Wicked. Mm-hmm. Now, I was talking with Luna, with Shay about this, and I'm like, I kind of want to do this, but it seems a little,
It seemed like basically the whole reformation spell all over again, and Bronies will know the issue behind that.
Yeah, it had some problematic elements attached to it, and so we started bouncing ideas off of each other, and we're like, okay, we'll make Sanctify the Wicked voluntary. It's basically a year-long therapy session, and with like a 90% success rate.
Yeah.
Which means, like, for example, with Simula, even if she spends all her time in the diamond, then it's no guarantee that she would actually be good coming out of it. It's very possible that, just like with real therapy, at the end she might go, well, that was a thorough waste of time. You were all babbling about this nonsense like kindness and mercy and forgiveness. I still want to hurt people. Because it can't force you to turn good. It can help heal your soul, but you have to be willing to,
give it adding personal choice.
New entertainment.
Yeah, adding personal choice made the spell a lot more palatable.
Yeah, because the way it sounds before, it sounds kind of like Twilight's Reformation spell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so, anyways, so continuing on with Sanctify the Wicked, it said that you had to have a diamond. It's like, okay, how am I? It's like, okay, I'm a little concerned about giving these guys diamonds because.
Actually, I remember something, and this was something you retconned after a while. But originally, you had actually said outright, there are no revival spells. If you die, you die. And to start with, the labyrinth was basically a special case. Like back then, if Jaminia had not died in the labyrinth and it died like in the arena, she would have been permanent. But I think Josh changed his mind on that after a while.
Yeah. It's that, the more I thought about it, the more I thought, like that whole permadeath thing. It's like, you know what? I think the real problem that I had with the resurrection spell was just the -1 level enhancement. It's just, I think I think that the negative level is just too punishing a mechanic.
It'll lead to a death spiral because you're one level below everyone else, so you're basically now the load. They're either going to have to protect you, or you're probably going to be the first one to die, which means you'll come back, lose another level, and it just keeps going into a spiral, into a death spiral where you've died so many times, you're just so weak you cannot keep up with the party in the rest of their missions.
To the point where you're about as effective as a backpack.
On the other hand, I have to break in here. On the other hand, if a character does lose that level because of resurrection, and then continues to participate in the adventure with the party, if they do indeed survive, then the amount of experience that they require to regain that level is actually much less than the amount of experience required for the rest of the party to gain their next level. And so there is a tendency for that character, if he can survive, there is a tendency for that character to catch up rather quickly.
Yeah, but it's too much of a headache, so I just thought it would be easier to just scrap that penalty and just make diamonds very, very hard to get.
Yeah. And
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that kind of in-game penalty, that's used as an incentive for players who are only treating this as a game, whereas because everyone is so invested in their characters, you don't need that kind of in-game penalty. People are going to be horrified by a character's death, even if there's no actual, game consequence for it, just because we like these characters and we don't want them to die.
Yeah, you grow an attachment to the characters like you do when you read any book or like play a video game or a movie. It's like, even if there is a penalty, you're still going to feel bad because it's like, hey, I like that guy. Don't let him die.
We also don't want like Dragon Ball syndrome going on though.
Oh yeah.
No, see, I've seen both sides. Having been a dungeon master for many years, I've seen both sides. I've seen people like this group that get really, really invested in their characters, and they really love to connect with their characters, and they make them become these real entities. I have seen other parties that treat their characters like numbers on a page, and there's they die, they're like, okay, so what? I'll just roll another character. It really depends on, and a good DM is going to watch the players and see the level of investment that they have in their characters.
Yeah.
Like some of the more role play elements of the campaign. I go through my head, like what's going on in Jalrum's like my character's head after this current event. Like the big one that was going through the back of his mind was the death of Solinar.
Oh yeah, that pulled the rug out from everybody.
Yeah, I don't think anyone expected for a deity to die.
No.
Especially considering what was going on between Cross and Jalrum at the time. We started to see that they were going on a more like a parallel level of journeys. And then when I saw that Cross's character went off the deep end, Jalrum's idea is like, oh, I don't want to go down this path. I don't want to go down this path. He's starting to second guess himself. He mentioned this with I think he mentioned this with Rose. He do I consider myself a good person? Does Rose consider me a good person? I didn't want to sound Jalrum did not want to sound like prideful or stuck up. He didn't want to be what Cross ended up. And
he wanted to be humble.
Yeah, it's like he wanted to show a sense of humility, and the talk he had, I think, with both Eleanor and I think Aravan helped him out a lot determine what path he wanted to go down, and he ended up making the right choice in the end.
And isn't it really fittingly, I was just going to say that, isn't it really fittingly ironic that the decision that proved that he was better than Cross
better than Cross what?
The decision that proved that he was better than he showed mercy to Cross. Isn't that ironic?
Sort of, yeah, in a way.
Ellie, you have a Stuffle plushie. I'm sorry.
So off topic.
On topic.
But actually, I know a lot of people in the comments wanted to start a Q&A soon.
All right, so I will begin that now. I saw a really good question. So Captain Van.
Weren't we going to start with Luna Corva's question?
Oh yeah, sure. Shay had a Luna Corva had a question. Yeah, I have it written down. Why did Jalrum become Fate's bodyguard?
Okay, so it's actually a very simple answer. It's like General Erdusk had to get a sneaky way in order to make sure Faethurin was protected. Who is the only person in the party who knows Dark Elf Silent?
I do.
I know like a couple words. That's about it.
Yeah, I think didn't you teach me a few words in Dark Elf Silent?
He's taught all of us a few words.
Yeah,
but that was
not enough to hold a conversation.
I am Bard.
Yeah. Basically, it's like how much you know after high school Spanish. It's pretty much hola and anything beyond
except
that.
Actually reliable.
So basically, what happened was this once again involves Cross. Jalrum noticing that like the Golden Viper appears out of nowhere, and he started like, okay, I do not trust this guy. I'm starting to have my doubts about this person in my party. So I need the three, like at least 3 or 4 people I can actually trust to deal with top secret information. So I took the time to carve out 20 phrases, which unfortunately I didn't get to share with everybody, of certain words that I could teach to the party. So I basically made something on my own and had got it approved by Josh as the DM to teach to anyone who wanted to know Dark Elf Silent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy to teach someone like hola, como está, muy bien, gracias.
Yeah, and
Please stop, Josh. Please stop. Oh.
Yeah, Josh.
and basically the whole time.
¿Estás muy bien y tú?
That's better.
También estoy muy bien,
Muy
gracias.
bien, gracias.
Voice was saying something.
So basically,
Also, he's,
so basically the whole time, I wanted to say something. I had to basically whisper in the Roll20 chat. So I think it was during. I think one time when we saw Amontolo, I think during the file right before the Firehouse Trials, I was like coughing to Ivan, aka telling Fan look at the chat.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
All right. So
okay, so next.
Can I say
Shay has
something?
something.
Yep.
Yeah. This will be quick. I've wanted to share this in the chat for ages now, but you know the whole sacrifice in the arena that Simula pulled?
Yep. Yeah.
Or sacrificing the crowd?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
That originally... Sorry, what?
Yeah.
Go
Continue.
ahead. Go on.
Yeah, that originally was never intended to be a sacrifice. All it was I was thinking at the time, so the crowd's probably going to be booing really loudly, and that's going to get super annoying for Simula. I wonder how to get rid of them. Oh, hey, here's this necromantic spell that can wither people into mummies, and oh, hey, it just so happens to be able to work on a crowd that size. Yep, how about Simula uses that just to shut the crowd up? Middle of session, Sweetie Boom was like, oh no, she needs this the warden needs this sacrifice in order to summon the demons. And I think Josh was just like, you know what?
Let's roll with it.
So
that's a better idea.
Yeah.
So Sweetie Bloom's tinfoil hat actually influenced the story.
It improved the game.
My fault, crud.
I'm just looking. It's like, shoot, that was a much better idea than I had.
I'm sorry, that's hilarious. I didn't know that. Oh dear, that suddenly all those lives are on my head.
Well, they were going to die anyway. Well, they were going to die anyway, but you changed it from them dying just because Simula was annoyed to them dying to summon a horde of demons. I'm honestly not sure which is worse.
Yeah, thing is, they were gonna die anyway because unfortunately, I know you all too well. It's like I knew you guys would be all torn up over the person who died to notice what Simula was doing.
It was noticed just a hair's breadth too late, and we got a Setster moment because of it.
And it's all because I suggested to use the blueberry soup to summon the Fae to teleport the audience away.
Yep.
All right. So next question.
All right. Captain Van Dyke, I guess. Captain Van Dyke, Vandyk. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Who had the best parent-child backstory?
Oh.
That depends. You want to go for edgy, happy, or sad?
Yeah, edgy or not.
How about we go in the?
How about we go Amber's?
Yeah. How about we go in a circle and everyone gives their vote of who they think is the best?
All right, so I'll call on people. Sweetie, you first.
I think my favorite parent-child relationship, is Amber. I guess maybe I'm a sucker for the happy ending, I guess. But I like that she has two functional father figures.
Yeah.
One of them's dead,
technically. One of them's dead, and the other one has been absent for most of her life. So there's a little bit of edge there, but I feel like it sets up for a good conflict for her, but not so much that, she's, sitting there all doom and gloom about her backstory, So I like it.
Yeah.
Doc.
Who was my favorite, the most entertaining?
Backstory.
Like parent-child backstory.
Parent-child backstory.
I think the most entertaining moment between a parent and child was basically when Amber's father was teaching her how to fly.
Yes.
I could have done
it. I could have done it without him. Come on.
But you were so cute.
That was probably
Don't let him be a dad. Frog is trying
entertainingly
really hard. Let him
adorable
be a
moment
dad.
between a parent and child in the entire series.
I'm older than
Still
you,
had fun
Josh.
editing that.
All right, Ellie, what about you?
It depends on what it is you're defining as favorite. Because if you're talking about favorite resolution, it's gonna be Amber. Because she just has the best. She has the best resolution of the story. But I would say for best influence on the story, and this is gonna sound like really narcissistic, but Faye, because her father actually affected how things went in the story.
That's fair.
That is true.
That's
That
fair.
is true. Very true.
All right, Finny.
Oh, me?
Finny!
Whose parent backstory is my favorite?
And turn around.
Yeah,
Speaking
we
of parents in the background.
just want to let her know she's on
That's my
camera.
mom back there.
That's
You're
really
internet
ironic.
famous now. Congratulations.
Well, yeah, the obvious choice for who my favorite parent backstory was is Amber. Because you're so cute. I mean, the journal entry
something
from the wizard
original.
was cute. You flying with your dad, everything is just.
I admit I did like the father talk to the boyfriend chat.
I would like to put in
Get out the
my
shotgun.
my claim for that one. I gave Josh that idea. I was like, Josh, she
Oh.
has a hoarding dragon father. He needs to have
Okay.
the boyfriend talk.
Real talk. I never got the point of that whole, if you hurt my daughter. It's like, if the boyfriend needs to be threatened into treating the girl well, he probably shouldn't be dating her in the first place.
It's a tradition.
It's just sort of a trope that fathers they know what tends to go through guys' heads, and they don't like that someone's thinking of their daughter that way, so
It's
they
true.
tend to get very defensive.
My father
That's something
threatened
that guys
to.
tend to do.
It's true because my father threatened to pull out his hunting shotgun when my husband were to come and visit me, just for a little fear.
Yikes.
So
All right.
I don't know.
I think it's Blissey. No.
Mhm.
Yes.
Bliss hasn't voted yet.
oh, my turn.
Yes.
I am thinking.
Are you thinking, or are
I
you
am
coming up with an evil
thinking.
scheme?
I'm not sure.
Are you plotting or thinking?
Excellent.
Honestly,
I'll give you advice if it is the latter.
Honestly, probably the most memorable for me in regards to feelings, like how it personally affected me. I think it has to be Owen's backstory.
Oh, really?
Okay.
I'm trying to comprehend, how does a child like Owen grow up knowing that he might have been the cause of his mom's death, the fact that he knows he's cursed, the fact that probably all of his people despise or fear him.
Yeah.
How do
blaming
you
himself.
grow up and not become a psychopath?
And blaming himself for the death of the prince.
That too.
Well, you also have to remember that there was this very unstable deity guiding him along the way.
Unstable, is that what we're calling it?
Yeah.
And we see Josh's face in the background.
Yep.
I mean, can you imagine waking up to the face of the Cheshire Cat in the morning?
Nope.
That'd be a great wake-up call.
But it helps me
Rose
to
would approve.
It helps me
Oh my
to
goodness.
admire Owen's character more, because despite all that, he's still a relatively sane character.
Quote unquote.
Quote unquote. But
Comparatively, I
it takes a
suppose.
strong will to get past all that despite your upbringing, and I admire that for Owen's character.
Yeah.
All right. Shay.
Oh, I'm not sure that the Owen thing didn't have too much to do with his father, though, is all I'll say on that one. But for me, the best one, I'm actually going to have to agree with Ellie, would be Aimer, because not only did he have the most presence and effect on the story, but he also had the strongest effect on Faye and how her character changed and grew throughout the story. I feel for better and for worse, he was an influence on her past, but also directly. I feel he became an influence on her person, even if it was just through, accidentally facilitating the Faye and Jallarhorn.
The ship.
He's the ship daddy.
I want to add.
So
I
yeah,
want to
my
add to
vote's
that.
for Aimer and Faye.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So, Tarek.
Wait, no, Blissy said she wanted to add to it. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Don't skip voice.
Yeah, let's skip voice.
Yeah, I don't think voices said
Oh no, we're going by the order that's on our screen, and
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was just gonna
Yeah, 'cause,
say.
like on my screen, I'm after voice.
I was
Yeah.
just gonna
Anyway.
say,
Don't
ask
worry.
her it. Just go on. Go on.
No.
No, you talk, Lissy. You talk.
What?
Not important. Go.
I will bite you. What is it?
Talk. Talk right now.
Woman!
I was just gonna say probably the saddest backstory. Yes, that goes to Faye. There, done. Moving on.
Yeah.
All right, Tarek.
All right.
Best child-parent relationship.
Okay. I have to ask Voice a question first before I say mine, and
Okay.
that kind of gives you a primer of what it is.
All right.
What were Jallarhorn's feelings toward his father before he got the letter?
Before he got the letter, he hated him. He basically was trying to force him down a path that he didn't want to do, and he basically rebelled like a teenager and ran away from home.
Yeah, that's the impression that I got. But so in a way, it's kind of morbidly satisfying. The relationship that Jallarhorn, the way it ended up, that Jallarhorn had with his father, because Jallarhorn, he detested his father, and when he finally came to know, he had to come to him, and he was planning on asking him for help. And I'm sure that he didn't like that idea. But the way that it turned out is he finds his father's skeletal remains under the tree, and he finds this letter that basically says, "Son, I wish I could say that I had any feelings for you at all, but the truth is I don't. So goodbye."
That's mean.
It's
I like
cruel. It was terrible and awful, and yet Jallarhorn, it kind of vindicates the feelings that he's had toward his father all this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, rather
You know
than
what I feel
the
is
whole,
actually,
I
like-
hated someone who actually loved me. It was like, no, I hated someone who had no feelings
Well-
for me, who deserved it, Kind of
The
justifies
funny thing
it.
is-
Well, not really justifies it, but...
I was going to say, the funny thing is, and this is kind of adds to the tragedy, is I genuinely believe that letter that, what's his name? What's
Théoden?
John's father's name?
Théoden.
That Théoden sent to him, that was his honest attempt at being nice. That was his honest attempt at being kind by being honest.
Honest.
Yeah.
Which is true. Much better to be honest about, like, no, I never had feelings for you, than be like, oh yeah, I totally loved you, and that's why I manipulated you.
Because I think honesty
Exactly,
shows
so-
at least some kind of semblance of respect. Like, he didn't want to lie to him and sugarcoat anything. He wanted to be honest with his feelings, and in a way that kind of shows respect.
At
It
the
should at
same
least
time,
have a
though,
conscience.
When was the letter written? The letter was written by his father when his father was under the influence of the despair from the Night Twist, and his father basically knew he was doomed. He was not going to get out of this, and so it was kind of like a deathbed thing, where he had no choice but to be honest, because he had nothing to lose.
Well, it wasn't even that he had no choice, but because you always have the choice of whether or not to tell the truth.
Yeah.
Well, okay, yeah.
I mean,
but
there are
what-
plenty of people who would lie their socks off on their deathbed.
They would lie. They would take lies to
Mhm.
their grave sometimes. So
But he didn't have anything to. He spent his life manipulating for. That was very cute, Ellie.
Excuse me.
He spent his life manipulating anybody he could, even his own wife and child, for his own political gain. When it became clear to him at the very end, he had nothing left to gain. There were no more politics, no more games, no more manipulation. He knew he was going to die. What did he have to gain by continuing to lie?
Yeah, essentially the way I wrote Théoden's character is that I sort of like the way that I wanted my character to be a half elf, taking like one attribute of one race and adding an attribute of another and mix it together, so we have like a not exactly a superior race, but a I guess what's the word I'm looking for? Like a hybrid that can continue on for both worlds. But what ended up happening is he wanted more of his own traits to reflect his kid rather than the mother, and because of that, I guess that forced forced training on him. He ended up rebelling and ended up taking after his mother in the end, and becoming more of a roguelike figure.
Anyway, that's my entry. Sorry to take so much time on that one.
How very dare you be thorough, John?
This is a fun session. Just talk.
But that being said, yeah, my favorite relationship is actually Jalarum with his mother.
Yeah.
Their mother.
Amber didn't have a mom.
Let's be fair. There's
Neither did
not
I.
a whole lot of mama relationships in the series.
Amber never knew her mom.
Actually,
She never will.
Ivan didn't even know his parents. So.
Yeah, I think when what was it, when Eleanor finally revealed herself to Jalarum, and the conversation that they initially started talking, it almost felt like a real conversation, like a very sarcastic mom would have to their teenage kids, like, "Mom, stop embarrassing me. No one's around."
Aww.
Yeah.
Cute.
All right. So
Actually, Josh, you never answered.
oh
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Josh, what's yours?
and then Ari.
my favorite parent-child relationship has not come yet.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Oh, and suddenly I think I know what it is.
No, it's not.
Shadowing.
Mine is
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not really a spoiler when we have zero context.
But anyways, next one.
All right. So Samantha Powell asked, "Are you guys going to make a funny moments compilation?"
Ari,
Oh, jeez.
Oh man, do you know how long that would take?
There are
Okay,
so
then-
many moments like that we would just burst out laughing to the point where it would be like hours long.
Okay,
I'm over there.
then a better question. Neon Sphinx Foster asked, "The funniest moment in D&D?"
Again.
no.
Oh, I know.
hard.
I'm over there.
I'm over there.
Okay.
No,
So-
actually in that same vein,
For
my
me,
funniest
it's
moment.
definitely
You
all
need
the
this
little
more than
separate
I do.
Batman gambits that I played.
Oh yeah.
Oh, friggin'.
Just the
Give me a
freaking
second.
invisible
I'm gonna
wall
be-
over the fake pit. I am so
I'm
proud.
I'm
gonna be
That
away from
is
the
actually
the
worked.
best.
mic for a second.
Yes.
He was trying to jump over a pit that was just, it really wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
I was so happy that actually worked.
I'm back.
It almost did it. Didn't you have to like make them check who had the higher jump check?
Yeah.
Actually, no. I think.
Oh, yes.
I think what ended up happening is that Cross admitted, is like, wait. I have actually admitted that. Oh wait, I have a really high jump check. I can do it.
Stand back,
Nope.
mortal. Boom.
Yes, Shay.
I was going to say, Ellie's right, because at first it's like, okay, you got to jump across, and Bliss was like, okay, I guess Amber could do it, and then Josh was like, well, which one of you has the higher jump check? And of course, again, he told me about this plan beforehand. In fact, he was with me discussing this, like, what trap is he going to use for which person? So I'm sitting there thinking, Josh, you magnificent censored.
Son of a god, I read your mark.
That works.
All right, but yeah, funniest moment. We'll go backwards. Tarek.
Yeah, I was already gonna say the jumping over the fake pit.
All right,
That is a good one.
all right, Luna Corva. Funniest moment.
Skip me. I'm still trying to think about it.
Okay, Bliss.
Come back to
funniest
me.
moment.
Yeah.
Suplexing the tree.
You never suplex the tree. I've been over this. You grapple the tree, but you have to pick the tree up and just suplex it.
Shay,
Thanks,
stop being
Shay.
pedantic.
Finny, funniest moment.
Oh no.
Choices.
There's so many. I'm gonna say the talk. Yes. It came out of nowhere. It was hilarious, and just him and me dialogue, awesome.
All right, Ellie, you're fit.
Also, I know which one mine is now.
Okay.
I can't decide whether it was it was trolling the troll into drinking drow poison, or if it was turning Eimer into a puppy.
Into a puppy.
I remember that.
Or what about? Okay, so Shay, Luna, what was yours?
Okay, this is technically combat 2, but they direct her.
Okay.
Hmm?
Technically 2, but okay, continue.
I cut out again.
Mhm.
Go. Technically 2. Go.
Yeah, I think I cut out again. Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, having bad connection issues. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So my favorite was that elf is rather gorgeous. I would quite like him to.
Oh yes.
And of course, the reveal afterwards. Lord, I fantasized about.
Yes. Yes.
That's a good
I
one.
mean,
All right.
Dr. Wolf, funniest moment.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. I haven't even said anything yet.
No, I'm laughing that you have to think about it.
I'm trying.
This is so fun. I'm so happy right now.
Me too.
I suppose the moment that comes to mind would be pretty early in the campaign, right after the succubus fight. Owen walks up to Jalarum and Cross and has a hand on each of their shoulders, and he's got this very stern look on in his eyes. And basically, I say to the DM, okay, I want to roll to knock their heads together.
Honestly, I was a little more. I thought you'd pick something like you choosing to gamble. I make sure I touch his hands, and me just silently saying, "You filthy cheater."
I was intentionally dropping hints to the rest of the party by doing that gambling with the cards. I wanted to say, hey, pay attention to this. It's important for later.
You know, on that note, when we were watching the playback, Josh had actually PM'd to Doc, "You filthy cheater," so it showed up in the recording, and I was just like, "What was that about?" And then I just brush it off because I don't think on things like
Mystery unfold.
Big spoiler.
So, sweetie, what was your funniest moment?
CD?
Claire.
me?
Yes.
What's your funniest moment?
I suppose, yeah, the trolling the troll.
That's the entire trial of Guile.
Yeah, that was
trial
one
of
of Jalarum. That was one of Jalarum's crowning moments. Just it was beautiful.
The whole trial was fantastic.
Can I say
I
mine?
think
Yes.
Go ahead, Kiki.
What's up?
Owen, are you gonna kiss anyone?
Oh yeah.
Speaking of kissing, Ari, you never told us what your favorite ship was.
Yeah.
Josh said his favorite ship. You never. I mean, not favorite ship, a favorite child-parent relationship.
Yeah, what was
I
yours?
said Ryan and Owen.
Yeah,
Oh.
she did. You weren't paying attention because everybody was laughing too loud.
Okay. Next question.
TJ Amen 2. Why did you pick those classes, and what are your advanced classes?
Okay, I picked Jaminia because, you already said the story about the Tiefling Paladin. Yeah. Let's start with Claire. It's like, why did you pick Druid?
Because puppy.
That's always a good
probably the most sensible answer.
All right.
Well, no, okay, you took someone who aspires to be a veterinarian, puts her in a fantasy setting where she can talk to and heal animals. Of course she's going to take advantage of that.
Yes.
I get to be Dr. Doolittle. Yes, I'm going to be a druid.
All right.
Dr. Bloomlittle.
All right,
Good
Dr.
one.
Wolf.
Oh!
Why did you pick a cleric?
I chose a cleric because I was the last to choose a class. I kept telling Josh, make sure that I am the last to pick a class because I want to make sure that I'm rounding out the party and filling in any gaps. And so when the time came, it looked like we had a frontline brawler, and it looked like we had a druid who had a couple of healing spells, but was not going to be her focus. But we had no main tank or any main healer.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, well, now I got to be both. How am I going to manage that?
Yeah.
That was the whole reason why I chose a cleric.
Yeah,
Basically because I want the party to live, and I don't see that we have these roles filled.
All right.
What were you trying to say, Claire?
Well, I was just saying I was one of the first to make a character, and I knew that Finn and Dr. Wolf wanted to make characters too. So I actually did intentionally not use as many healing spells as I usually would have, because I thought that one or both of them wanted to be healers, the heavy healers. So I was like, no, I'll be the secondary healer because one or both of them are probably going to want to be the primary healer. And I was surprised when Finn was a bard. I was like, oh, okay.
All right. Ellie, why'd you pick the class?
Well, I've always had a fascination with magic. I mean, I am a witch after all, so like that kind of speaks for itself. And honestly, when I play characters in games where I get to choose what class I am on video games, I always go for either magic users or rogues, because I like being able to move fast. I like being able to like get in, hit, and get out with rogues. And with like spellcasters, it's like I can fight you from a distance and you can't get to me because I'll move away before you can, and I'll still be able to zap you from afar.
Yeah.
Hey,
So, like-
Ellie,
Yes.
there is in D&D. There is, in the 3.5 edition which we are using, there is actually an advanced class called the Arcane Trickster, which is literally a magic rogue.
I've been doing some research on my own. I've been learning. Curse you, Josh! You got it in my head.
Yeah, unfortunately,
I'm just
I don't
saying,
think
Jalon could teach Faye a few tricks.
Yeah, but I don't think Arcane Trickster fits Faye Thorne's personality.
It doesn't. It doesn't fit her personality or her fighting style.
All right.
Because I didn't intend for her to be like the big database that just kind of happened on its own. But I just roll with it.
All right.
No pun intended. Curses.
Finn, why did you want to be the bard?
All right, all you youngins have a seat down there. Let me tell you the story of why Finn goes. Okay, I'm just kidding. So, reason I chose the bard is because I wanted to pick a class that didn't have to fight. Like, that was my whole thing. I wanted to be in a D&D campaign where I could support my friends, be as helpful as possible, and try to solve as many conflicts as possible without having to, like, use a weapon or anything. I had a weapon. I think I had a bow, but I never used it.
Like a crossbow, I think?
Yeah, and I never used it. It's in my backpack collecting dust to this day. So, but...
Yeah, you can sell it. Just saying.
Yeah. And me and Josh actually went through, because I've never played D&D before. Me and Josh actually went through this whole talking session about like what class does he recommend, what like powers would you say, like I want this, and I also want this and this and this. And yeah, I chose the bard because I wanted to support my team in ways other than violence, and it turned out to work in my favor.
Because that's so different from how you usually are in real life.
Blissey.
All right. Multiple things went into this.
Actually, this is a story, ain't it?
It is a bit of a story. Sorry if I take a while. Well, first up, I need to point out that I like to melee play video games. I like to get up front and personal and punch the lights out of my enemy. I used to play Alien vs. Predator 2 for 15 years. I love tearing my prey apart. So that being said,
I love you. That's why I'm leaving that joke alone.
Yeah, please do. But before this entire D&D session took place, when I was in middle school, a friend of mine did invite me to play D&D with them. And I don't like being a bipedal character. I like to be something that is completely non-human as possible. And they told me that you could, in fact, be a dragon in this game. I'm like, oh, well, cool. Can I be a dragon character? And they immediately said no.
Oh, what?
Why not? And you just said that I could be one. He's like, oh, it takes too long to set it up. The character is naturally OP at the beginning. It would be too hard to set up. It would take forever. You could be like a bipedal half dragon or something. I'm like, that's not what I want, but okay. The game didn't go very well because not only did I get that I couldn't be my own character that I wanted to be, but everybody was just, I was playing with strangers and that one friend, so it just didn't end well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here comes Josh.
Yeah.
And he's like, please, please, please let me make a character for you. I'm just gonna make a character, I swear. Liar. And I'm like, fine, I want to be a dragon. I didn't get my way last time. I want to be a dragon. If you can't make me a dragon, then I'm not playing. Or I'm not going to play your little game. Whatever.
Challenge accepted!
I actually remember the day that the days when we were making these characters, because it was in the TF2 chat, and Josh was going around being like, "Oh my gosh, I'm on such a D&D kick. I wanna make characters for all these different people," and he was dragging people. Yeah, he didn't. I don't know if it was for setting up a game or not, because Josh is sneaky like that.
It wasn't. Yeah. He was like, just for the sake of it, what would your characters be in a D&D setting?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he wanted to play a game with us came up later.
Yeah.
Shoot,
and I specifically remember that initially we had to drag Bliss kicking and screaming because she did not want to play.
Yeah, here's the thing. Josh said he was just going to make a character for me, and that was it. I'm like, fine, make a character. Yes, I want to be a dragon. If I really were going to play this, well, I want it to be... I'm ADD. I get very impatient very quickly. If I have to read a lot, I tend to drift. Mm-hmm. So the easiest class I understood was fighter. I'm like, oh, I can fight people. I can get up and punch them in the face, and it works because I'm a dragon. I'm just gonna clobber them with terrible
Owen's thing.
Breathe fire. Yes, I could do that. But I'm like, okay, we made our character. That was fun. Thanks for having me. Bye. Bliss, come play a game with us.
What?
That's an order. I'm like, what? Like, I don't wanna. Just like play one game. One game. That's all I ask. One. And I'm like, fine.
Little
100 sessions later.
One game lasts more than a year.
Yep.
One game has been lasting more than a year, yes. So that's how it is. Josh put up with my demands and then dragged me in kicking and screaming as a reward.
Yeah.
And I draw fan art of our characters. Isn't that fun?
Yay!
And finally, voice.
The reason I chose Rogue is that the Rogue is actually my favorite class. Whenever I was playing D&D, I was either the Ranger or I was either the I got a phone call. I'll take that in a bit. But yeah, so my Rogue was my favorite class, and then when I was looking, I was looking up stuff on my own, and I realized that there were other classes alongside the normal class, and I saw the prestige stuff. So I was looking through, okay, what can my character multi-class as? And I look at assassins, like, oh, okay, my character can be this. Must be evil. Crap, my character's evil. Dang it. I don't want to be an evil assassin.
Aww.
Oh, I thought I was a pain.
See, that whole assassins must be evil thing has always kind of bugged me on a philosophical level. It's like technically, an assassin could probably do more good than harm because, they could, take out an evil overlord without thousands of lives having to be wasted fighting a war against him.
Anyway, I'll be right back. I just gotta take a phone call.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Sorry.
Don't worry. This next question's more of a DM one.
We have 2 DM questions really quick. That way we can just get them out of the way. Here's Ripple Effect MLP asked, what is the point of the Cheshire Cat bewitching the kingdom of Sabaton?
Okay. I'm going to give as many details as I can without being spoilery. Mm-hmm. But he is a god of mischief.
Mischief and music. He's Loki.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
No, I was going to say Ellie.
Whoa.
Oh,
I can't hear anybody.
So the kingdom of Sabaton becomes important later. Thanks for that info, Josh.
What happened?
We lost Josh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's not good.
Hello?
Josh,
Baby, come back.
I can't hear anybody.
What happened to you
That's
two?
weird.
He said he can't hear us.
All right, something's wrong on our end, guys.
We can hear you. Huh. There.
Give him some time. Give him some time.
Okay.
They,
Well, we're still live, so
Well, should we answer a different question from the audience then?
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, they're back.
We're back.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Continue.
One last one for Josh. Are Jaminia and Simula of Batazu or Tanari bloodline? That question was asked by Insane Linguist.
That will be addressed.
Okay.
I'm guessing that stepped right into spoiler territory.
No. If Katie is watching this.
Oh.
Actually, Josh, I think it already has been addressed. No. Pause. I mean, in season 2, I believe that was a character already said something in season 2.
Shut your beak!
That's your beak.
I said season 2. Listen to what I am saying, please.
Shay, there's nothing in season 2 that has said anything about it. I'm DM saying that.
Okay.
All right. So anyways, I actually do have to get going. Some family decided to surprise me.
Okay, then hang on one second. Let us answer Sega's question.
Oh yes. Go ahead.
Sega's question is not including your own. Who is your favorite character in the entire campaign so far?
Oh goodness gracious. I would have to say probably Olitamara.
Olitamara makes me mad.
He makes me laugh.
Tarek.
For me?
Yes.
Well, I have to admit, I am not caught up with everybody, but out of sheer morbid chaos, I like the Cheshire Cat.
Hey!
Shay.
I honestly don't know. It kind of goes back and forth for me at this point. At one point it was Owen, but he's also spent a lot of time in the background, so pass on me. I'm honestly not sure his absolute favorite.
Sissy.
Rain!
Yay!
I love Rain!
Somebody was going to say it eventually.
Finny. Finny, who's your favorite character?
Rain! Woo! Rain party right here.
High five.
Ellie.
Does Lucid count as my character?
No, Lucid can be anyone.
Question. Shiloh count?
Shiloh can count.
Well, I have to say, this is actually not because he's my character. I didn't intend for him to be the angel bunny of the group, but he kind of became the angel bunny of the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, that honestly just came about because I I came across all of these cool sound files for these different for this otherworldly language, and I just wanted him to insult people without them noticing.
Yeah. Okay. Full disclosure, I did intend for him to be a wise Alec, but Josh took it a step further.
Yeah.
All right, Doc, your favorite character.
I think Amontolo comes to mind, honestly.
Oh, mercy.
Everybody likes a little
Yeah.
Because I knew exactly who and what Amontolo was long before most everyone else, and exactly what Amontolo meant to my character. So, yeah, all the interactions leading up to that,
I am seeing a very evil face on Claire.
All right, bye voice. Claire,
Nice.
your favorite character.
Shiloh.
Shiloh.
I already said.
Okay.
Just double check. Well, that kind of feeds into someone else's question. Shadow4X asked, "What is your favorite NPC?" Not counting Jaminia.
Well, I think we just answered that.
Most of us.
Yeah, that was exactly the same question.
Well, no, like Sega asked, like not your own. Who's your favorite character? That includes playable characters.
Well, I think we all answered it.
I know.
We all answered it.
We all think
player
that point. Yeah.
All right. So.
Rector Akor.
Sorry.
Why make Amontolo and the Cheshire Cat the same?
Oh man. There's still spoilers in here that I can't say because it hasn't come up. But at the same time, I'm not sure if it's ever gonna come up.
Oh.
So fun.
You look so frustrated.
Fun.
It's just there's a reason I did it. There is an in-universe reason that I did it, but I'm not sure if it's ever going to get addressed unless the party asks the right questions.
Well, then, we'll do a series finale live stream, and you can tell us then.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Once everything's all said and done.
All right, Anonymous Vids asked, "What would you guys do if Simula went evil again after she leaves the diamond?"
Okay. Oh, I don't know.
Well, I know what Faye would do. She'd cry. Do you know what she went through? Like trying to become this entirely different person, and just everything she went through, man.
Yeah. She was like breaking down when we found her in the library. What?
I
think that got talked over.
Good. I'm glad I was like, whoa, Finn. No.
That hasn't been revealed yet, folks.
You guys are drawing attention to it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Okay. So
if Amber were to find out Simula escaped the diamond and she was a bad person again, it would take a lot of friends to keep her from killing her. Because Amber hates Simula with a passion.
You don't say.
Perhaps we should move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Raxian asked, "What is your saddest moment in this campaign so far?"
ooh.
Oh wow!
Another loaded question because there's a lot of them.
Especially recent ones that we can't talk about yet.
Yeah.
Will you shut up?
I'm being serious.
I know, but
It's not helping.
Yeah. That.
All right, but anyways, saddest moment for me was honestly the one I didn't see coming. Jaminia getting sliced down the middle by the Valor.
Oh, you stole mine!
You stole mine.
It's just, yeah, sorry. It's just, but I didn't. The thing is like, yeah, the things I did were fairly sad, and the things I subjected the characters to were very sad. But I was kind of prepared for them because I was the one telling the story.
Yeah. You knew what was coming.
You didn't predict that.
Yeah.
I My saddest moment was when everybody was that big moment in Cumulus. Not only the death of a god, but Ivan's breakdown. Everybody emotionally.
Oh yeah, Ivan's breakdown was my heart.
Yeah.
Oh.
Poor baby. And like just all the emotion, everybody was just upset. And it's like in this crumbled city, it was like just a whole atmosphere of sadness. It's like, aww.
Yeah.
If I could pick a different one, it would be probably just the whole friendship crumbling between Amber and Cross.
Yeah.
That was hard for me to act.
That was hard. Let's see. Doc, what was your saddest moment?
Saddest moment for myself watching the game or for Owen as a character?
In general.
For
Pick
watching
one.
the game. Let me think. I'd say when the party members are fighting amongst each other, even to the point of actually yelling at each other to the just total frustration.
Yeah, like internal conflict.
Was that with the Balor itself? Because I remember that was the biggest time we actually argued that we actually had a cross phase where we couldn't tell if this was real or not.
Yeah.
That was the one that I was going to bring up. The problems and the animosity that was going on in the party during and after the Balor encounter. There was some very real, raw emotion there. And it was kind of breaking my heart. I was saying, you guys, you got to work together. Come on.
Oh, and the baby.
Oh, why did you bring that up? I'm not even a parent, but I have strong maternal instincts, and I can't even watch Pet Sematary, you know?
I felt so bad for the baby.
We knew.
Claire, what was yours?
Yeah, a surprise to no one. Actually, not a session I was involved in. The fused couple.
Yeah, that had a good ending though.
You had to bring up old scars from FMA, didn't you?
That was unintentional, but
It was.
okay. So
Again, maybe
I actually based that off of something else. My dad was a dungeon master, and I based that creature off of something he did.
Oh.
Blame your dad.
But-
See how it is.
I will tell you guys right now, I was yelling at him over Skype, being like, no, you did not. And that was like, what? When did we film that? That was like in November? That was around like when you were visiting?
Yes,
I was so mad at you.
And I remember because what was that? I remember when we were filming that episode, and as soon as he said roll initiative, immediately I was like, no, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
We're not doing this.
Yeah, I think Fib actually.
I can barely hear you, Claire.
I like checked out.
Yeah, sweetie, you're really low on your volume.
Unfortunately,
just
so that's just gonna have to be how it is.
I was just gonna say, of course, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes?
I think I've said this to some of you, but when he was, and of course, me being his shoulder, him, it's like, so I'm playing Infuse 2 dragons together. Oh, could it be Amber's parents? Was my contribution.
No!
Dude!
Oh!
Oh, wow! You're going to make up for the fact that Amber didn't have a very traumatizing past. You're going to make up for it by traumatizing her in the present.
Yeah.
Jerk!
Oh, kind of. I think I've got lost ground to make
Don't
up.
do that.
Okay, so
No.
moving on. Next question.
Hey!
What?
Oh, we didn't answer. Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought we got Ellie. I'm so sorry, Ellie.
Your turn, Ellie.
And I didn't answer either.
We didn't go in order, so we're kind of just all over the place.
Oh, come on.
Ellie, go ahead.
For me, it was actually Faye's breakdown after Eimer got killed.
That's fair.
Definitely.
I took joy in killing him, by the way.
You're a vindictive
Wow.
little twit.
He was a bad guy. He deserved to die. I'm sorry. Justice
I'm not
is served.
okay. As an individual, that I agree. But as a character, like, okay, that was basically. Huh? You okay over there?
I didn't do it.
Okay. No, but that was basically Faye's breaking moment where she's just like, there is no redeeming this man, and just because I can change doesn't mean everyone can. So I have to do what I have to do.
Yeah.
At least Amber asked for your permission first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I share what I feel was the saddest moment?
Yes, go ahead.
Honestly, speaking of, people changing, it was Jamina's just the reasons you suck speech of the whole party when she called them all out and all the creatures they've killed, because to quote the TV tropes page, honestly, that was Spec Ops The Line levels of make you feel like an awful human being. But unlike that, where, the horrible things you've done are forced upon.
Excuse me.
It's like, unlike in that game where the horrible things you've done are forced upon you, you have no choice. In this, no, every person they killed, they chose to kill that person. They chose to basically go, okay, it's a combat encounter, let's just start stabbing. So I think both the emotion and then just the, oh crap, what have we done, just that made it probably the strongest sad moment for me.
Yeah.
All right. So we have the next question. This is sort of a DM question, but we're getting into the subject of Arkoth Wormwood now.
Oh boy.
When the party, Icy Paul asked, when the party broke out of the prison at the start of the campaign and found the warden asleep, could they have actually killed him if they hadn't tried to remove the blanket?
Unfortunately, no. There was an alarm spell.
Ah, okay.
Oh, I'll be right back. I gotta use the bathroom real quick.
Okay.
And even if they were able to...
questions right now anyway. This works pretty well. And then the Black Dragon Knight asked, will we see Arkoth Wormwood again? I feel he got a poor send-off for being so loyal to Simula.
Well, thing is that this character got such a, well, in a sense, he got a very positive reception. So I would not rule it out.
Yeah. Okay.
Why?
I'm gonna try and find. I gotta find a way to incorporate him.
I don't understand why people like that character.
Well,
I think
because
it's
as a villain, he's a really good villain.
He's a horror.
Yes.
Okay, that's fair.
Love to hate.
I love to hate this guy.
There you go.
You're like in the same reason you like, say, Ursula or Maleficent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I think part of the reason why people grew to enjoy this character was the fact that I was writing dreams centered around him.
That's what's funny. One thing maybe one day I'd bring up in character is that a lot of the animosity we have towards the warden is actually deserves to be towards Owen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's what
half of the stuff he's done to us has been what Owen's been doing to us, not what he's been doing to us.
Yeah, and that's reason number 5. That's reason number 5 that I wanted to kill someone in the party, because I wanted you to keep that hatred of him.
Because aside from killing someone in the party, and the only real horrible thing he ever did was fuse those 2 dragons together.
Because that's not enough to make us absolutely despise him.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
That was more than enough for me.
Ugh. I didn't get much sleep that
Now
night.
you're giving me ideas about.
Oh God, to run for the hills.
You're giving me ideas of what I want to do for next session. Now I have 2 ideas. Thank you.
Okay, so next question. Skyblaze71325 asked, what was your favorite location in the series thus far?
Ooh, I already got mine. Should be obvious.
Hawthorne's Tower?
No.
Hawthorne's Tower sucked.
Yeah, that sucked.
Should we go in order again?
I should. Yeah, but
I'm gonna go in alphabetical order.
Mhm.
So, Dr. Wolf.
My favorite location, the one that I had the most fun playing in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me think. I imagine that might have been the arena on the Fire Elf Island, because that was basically Amber and I doing what we do best. And
Welcome back,
having
boys.
fantastic results.
Yeah.
Welcome back, boys.
That was a
Alright,
fun
what did I
session.
miss? We're talking about Fire Elf Island?
We're
No,
talking
we're
about our
talking
favorite
about our
locations.
favorite
Our
location.
favorite locations.
And I'm going in alphabetical order. So the next one would be Eliora.
Okay.
Go ahead, Andy.
I actually really have to think about that. No. My inclination is always towards forested areas. So I liked Solania a lot because of all the trees and the life. Shut up, Claire, I know. Before you say a word. That's the druid thing. That's the druid thing, I know. But
Yeah, that's stop being on my turf, man.
no, but for real, I like flora a lot. I like plants and trees and forested areas, despite the fact that I refuse to go camping. Yes, I'm aware of irony.
Yeah, but I'll never go camping. Like, what?
I'll go camping in a cabin.
No, but I like Solania the most because it was the most aesthetically pleasing to me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next would be Finny.
Okay, I kind of have a three-way tie here. And they're all for different reasons.
Okay.
I love Solania for aesthetics because I love forests. I love Cumelis for the story because, that had a lot of personal connection with me. And number three, this is going to sound kind of weird. I actually really like the underground area where the dwarves lived. Like the underground
Optimar.
city. Optimar. I actually thought that was a really cool idea. I've always been a fan of building your entire city underground, and and all the things that had to go in there. And the whole thing. It was a very tense session, and it fitted because it's underground. It's like there's no light, there's no hope. It's like you can rely on yourself at this point. So
I agree with your reasoning, but the idea of an underground city just always feels so yeah, it's claustrophobic and choking to me. And if you're talking, Josh, I didn't hear a word you just said.
No, I wasn't talking.
Okay.
I'm realizing Finn seems to like locations that are heavy in symbolism.
Yeah.
A little bit, and story purpose and stuff.
Yeah, Optimar being underground, being a suffocating environment
it was a very suffocating session. So
for the culture.
And Cumelis being a very broken down city, it was a very saddening, brokening session. I like it when the setting and the tone match. It actually makes it more effective in my eyes.
Okay.
Brokening is a very official term.
Finn, have you ever considered a career
Finn, can you English today?
Finn, have you ever considered a career in film?
But me?
Yeah.
Film design.
To be 100% fair, yeah. To be 100% fair, I actually I'm not going to go too deep in detail because it's supposed to be Brony D&D, but I have actually been writing out stories, like my own fantasy stories, with my own characters and everything. I've been working on it for 2 years at this point, and
Awesome.
I have to create my. I create my own characters and locations and everything. So yeah, I'm kind of used to symbolism fitting tone.
All right, so next we have Lightning Bliss.
Easy. I was going to say the Dragolads, but I'm like, I didn't really fight that much in the Dragolads, so I went to the one that is the most memorable, and that is when we were on the pirate ship.
Ah.
That pirate ship, when we were on there, and we had so many shenanigans on that ship. Faith being seasick, Amber having an arm wrestling match with her own goddess and winning. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Rose being made the moral center.
That was interesting.
Dragon power.
It's like I don't want to go to bed. I want to stay up and watch guard.
I want to say something in regards to Faye getting seasick. I came up with that on the fly, and I stole the joke from Josh, because weren't you originally going to make Jaminia seasick? I seem to recall you saying that.
Yeah, you said you were going to make Jaminia seasick, but if I think you even put it in dialogue, if Fea Thurin wasn't, I would be.
Oh.
Sounds like your reaction to Inside Out.
Yeah. And then, of course, the attack of the Kraken itself. I'm like, oh, we're at sea. We're going to get attacked by a Kraken. I just knew it. Oh, there it is.
There's the Kraken.
Release the Kraken.
I have to say that
I think that might have been my idea again.
Apparently, I had one of my best out of character lines that made it onto TV tropes.
Really?
Oh
yeah. Don't tempt the don't tempt the DM or something.
Like, Fate is sitting right there in the dungeon master chair.
But here's the thing. I believe the Kraken might have actually been my idea again, because I might be remembering this wrong, but I do remember that Josh and I were talking about like what kind of you have them face, because it's a sea travel. Obviously, you're gonna have to face sea monsters, and I was just like, well, I always like the Kraken, so.
Why is it that every time we follow the breadcrumb trail of the worst parts of the game, they always seem to lead back to you?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, like, the baby, that was all Josh's idea. I just encouraged it, so.
Speaking of, what was your favorite location?
Well, first I'll say, Finn, since you like underground cities, maybe I can talk more to Ravis. I mean, he lived in an underground city too. But for me, favorite location with Fire Island, because I really liked all the trials, and if you include the journey to Fire Island, then that would include the ship and all the stuff that happened on that too.
That's true.
Which, another point that's favor, that ship was really the first step to making Season 2 feel like the start of something. That's the first time when we're really going beyond the borders of Alatastica, and it feels like, a start of a new tone and a new adventure rather than just Season 1 plus more.
Yeah.
All right. Sweetie Bloom, it's your turn.
You're muted.
Muted.
Sorry. It did tell me. I like Laputa.
Oh.
Cumulus, nice job.
Cumulus is what I'm referring to, but
Cumulus, yeah.
Yeah, I like
it was the cumulation of a lot of plot threads.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I liked the incredible, like, this, the V8 juice hit the fan, and symbolism of the whole location. Of course, it's beautiful, and any excuse to use Joe Hisaishi music, and I'm down for it.
Yeah.
I was saying Cumulus was the cumulation of a lot of
Shut up.
I like that. Now you got two. Now you got two punters in the D&D.
No, shut up! Stop it!
Ivan,
it's Tarek's turn. It is Tarek's turn. Tarek,
go ahead.
I'm going to have to recuse myself because I don't feel qualified to answer the question because I don't have enough knowledge of all of the different locations.
And then finally, voice of reason.
There are a couple that I enjoyed. On Fire Isle is one. The one I really enjoyed was Urzaban. And
that was actually fun.
Yeah, and going through the temple, solving how to follow the the torch trail. Actually, yes.
Temple.
Sega texted me about the previous question.
I have it on. I have the new one on the list.
Yeah, I have it. But my favorite.
Dude, we haven't answered it yet.
Oh, okay. But actually, I know what my least favorite one, the El Clanara. Where my trap sense didn't work.
You cannot detect any traps within the immediate vicinity. That's one of our running jokes.
Oh yeah.
That's where it started.
Yeah.
That's where it started. Yep.
Someone put that on a T-shirt.
Yeah, we actually do need it. There's a couple of phrases from this that we need to turn into T-shirts.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't just that. It's just like every time I did roll, I kept on missing the trap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't realize. Oh wait, I'm not using.
There wasn't a trap. It's because there was, but his roll wasn't high enough.
And then I realized, oh wait, I'm not using my actual trap sense. And then the last one, I actually did find the pendulum trap.
Yep.
Well, which thank goodness you did, because you would have had one mighty haircut if you hadn't.
Oh no, I'm not talking about the I'm not talking about the.
Oh no, you're right. I'm thinking about the wrong place.
Yeah, but the other one I would have lost my head. This one I would have been like Jalarum front half, Jalarum back half.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Bifurcated.
So, we have 4 more questions, and then we're going to be done because we've been on here for almost a little over 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
But okay, so Sega we misunderstood her question. She wanted to know our favorite player/party character, and she says Jaminia and Simula count.
Okay, so anybody in the party.
Yes. So you're basically your buddies. Who's your favorite buddy?
Does Shiloh still count?
I would say no because we've already answered that one.
So...
The party.
In the party. He's not a playable character, but he's in
Come on, let's be fair. Let's be
fair. Okay, then who's your other favorite, sweetie?
Second favorite.
Probably Jaminia.
Yeah.
All right.
She doesn't like any of us.
Okay.
No.
My favorite buddy in the party, is it?
Coming from
That's the
Dr.
terminology
Wolf,
we're using here.
Coming from Dr. Wolf, the word buddy sounds so ominous in the context of one character.
Well, it's not meant to sound ominous here. It really isn't. Personally, the other player character that I've had the most fun playing with in the party would have to be Amber, because the two of us, when we are brawling, we can just take down the mightiest of foes.
Hi.
It's true.
All right, Ellie, your favorite party member.
I'm torn between Jaminia and Jalarum because I really like both of the characters. Like, first of all, obviously there's the whole like Jalaran ship going on, but other than that, there's something about the way that voice plays Jalarum that just you kind of want to know more about the dude, and you kind of like watching how he solves things. He uses his head a lot, so and that's something I always like seeing in a character.
Mm.
And Jaminia is just cool, and she's like this moral guidepost, and kind of like this moral golden standard.
Mm-hmm. Well, to go off what you're saying, Ellie, like whenever I'm playing Jalarum, I always want to think off the top of my head, how am I going to play this? Going back to like the Fire Elf trial, when I think, okay, this is a trial guile. I got to use my wits. How am I going to? Okay, I don't want to end with just like a regular battle, especially since I just dropped my sword. I look like a fool. Wait a minute, what do I have in my pack that I can use? Oh look, I can use. Maybe I can bluff my way to getting this troll to drink poison water. Here you go.
Have a drink, my man.
You realize that in any sane world that would not have.
Not for an instant.
No.
But then that 40.
He rolled a nat 20, so it was gonna work.
Yep.
Yes, fortunately, we live in our world, which is not sane.
I was bound by the dice.
All right.
Like you didn't want it to work, Josh.
Yeah, seriously, dude.
So,
Ari.
Don't do that again. It doesn't work.
Yeah, it works better with Blissey.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so I'm a twofer as well. I love, obviously, Amber's one of them. Just because we share the most beautiful moments, and even when we're not in game, even when we're just in text, like we're letting the story play out and we're just in text talking with each other. I think that's actually some of our closest moments is when we're just talking in text sometimes.
Yeah, we're texting each other the whole time during the game.
Yeah.
And it, honestly, like if people pay close attention to it, it's beautiful, and it does work like a little side conversation.
That's how they started shipping, was actually through their role playing in the chats.
When
We're
you guys
all
were
off to
fighting
our adventure, and we're going. Meanwhile, shipping.
Meanwhile, ding 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 ding. And and the other one, which Ellie stole most of my reasons, is Jalarum. I like Jalarum a lot because I always love characters that use their heads more than their fists. Because hero or villain, I just love it when they can think their way out of a situation, just like that. And I think Jalarum's had probably the most standout moments out of anybody in the in the team, both funny and memorable, just because he uses his mind so much. And I think voice plays the character really well.
Yeah.
All right. Lisa Boo, who is your favorite party member?
I am tied with two of them. Actually, I would say three, but I'm going to keep it to two. One, obviously Ivan, because of the role, because his character actually helped me to get into the role playing aspect.
Yeah.
And the other is Owen, because playing with him when we're actually in combat is fun, but it's not just that got me hooked. It's that Ivan and Owen kind of represent two characters that I feel like try to help keep Amber balanced. You have Ivan, who is morally good all around and and tries to keep her from following her feelings too much into like, well, this is a bad guy, I'm gonna kill him. Ivan's the one that says, no, let's think about this for a second. Everyone deserves to live.
Yeah.
Whereas Owen is the more just and straightforward, that what is the most practical way of dealing with this situation? And those are personalities I admire.
What was that, Shay?
We're your shoulder angels.
Nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
They are the shoulder angels.
Nothing. I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous at all. But sure, when he tries to be pragmatic, that's fine. But when I do it, I'm shutting up now to avoid spoilers.
Spoilers.
Dude.
But I mean, Shay, it is your turn. So, who is your favorite party member?
Honestly, it's a three-way between Jaminia, Faith, Thurin, and Owen. Ellie, shush.
I wasn't gonna say a single word.
Yeah.
I was.
Okay, well, sweetie, shush. I know what you're thinking.
But what's your reason?
Well,
come on.
Owen.
What?
Did you only just get it? You only just got it there, Josh?
Josh, you're so innocent.
Stay here, Josh. Stay here.
I am specifically choosing not to react.
Anyway.
Anyway, continue, Shay.
Yeah.
Did you all say Faye?
You called him Faye.
That's funny.
If I can't have your...
Anyway.
Okay, go ahead.
How weird that sounded out of context. When the reason I like him, of course, is just how entertaining his snark is, and of course, the whole "oh my god, he's playing them all and they don't even know it." Yes. With Jaminia, of course, he's just such an admirable character. Like, one of my favorite moments in the entire game is the talk she has.
You cut out.
Whole, even when after she died, and how even when she did I cut out again?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about Jamini's death scene?
Yeah.
PWD!
Sorry, buddy.
Even after I will kill all of you and smile while doing it. Anyway, even that torture alone, where even though she knows what is going to happen to her in hell, she chooses to keep doing what she believes is right, and I just found that incredibly admirable. And then Faye, because I feel that she's had the strongest development over the course of the series. She's changed the most and really changed for the better. So she's a character that's very much grown on me. So yeah, it's a three-way tie between all of them.
All right. Tarek, your favorite character. Jalarum?
You're going to make me do this, aren't you?
Yes.
Yep.
You must decide.
Do it.
Do it.
Who do you love the most?
I am looking at this not from a buddy perspective or a party member perspective. I'm actually looking at it from a dungeon master perspective. Knowing that some of you have played before and some of you have not, I am actually really proud, and this may seem narcissistic, but I'm really proud of my brother.
Yeah.
Who has never played Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, stop that, Josh.
Look, the amount of times I've mocked him for having a soul.
Brother. I don't know if you. Let me tell you a little bit of history here. I have asked Doc to play Dungeons and Dragons with me for years, probably more than a decade. I have been asking him to play with me, and every time I ask him, he'll give me some excuse or another. I don't have time. I don't think I'm going to do this. I don't think I'm going to like it. I don't think I'll feel comfortable. Yada 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 yada. And so we've joked about it over the years and stuff, but I was worried about his ability to role play. And then I see him jump into playing Owen, and the way that he brought Owen to life and made him a realistic character and had all of these sinister, I shouldn't say all sinister, but I mean, he had all of these motives that were going on behind the scenes. And I just have to say, bravo, Dr. Wolf, again, for making your character so compelling from a DM standpoint. I thought you did a really good job.
Woohoo!
Well, thank you kindly for that. I hope I'm doing something right.
Yeah, but that's Doc. You didn't answer who's your favorite character.
Okay. So the other side of the coin. So player, I thought was Doc. The character, I have to say Amber.
Yeah.
I am really biased. I am really biased because of that. Because I have a big thing about dragons.
Okay.
And I love dragon characters. And so when I heard that Bliss was going to play a dragon character, I got really excited about that. And so, but watching her develop over time and seeing her very impulsive nature kind of get tempered a bit. And then she becomes a really strong contributor to the rest of the party. And you can always, and she becomes very dependable, and you can count on her. I think I really like the development that she has gone through.
Can I just add
I'm curious, Tarek.
Say that. I'm sorry. Say that again.
I was gonna say, could I add something to that?
Oh, sure.
When we were in the labyrinth with the Balor, that was a real moment where I feel bad when I look back on it now, because that's when Josh pulled me aside. That was the one game where I actually was not having fun because, here are all my friends. They're getting these amazing roles, and here's my character, and she's constantly screwing up. And I was infuriated. I was frustrated. I'm like, I'm supposed to be this powerful, strong, young dragon. When am I going to shy? This isn't fair. And then I didn't legitimately understand how to play my character by that point. And that's when Josh pulled me aside and said, well, you're a young dragon who and base your roles on being clumsy. I'm like, yes! And that helped so much.
And the character is
so
bored.
much.
Own it. Own the bad role.
Make it work for you.
Then, of course, soon after, Amber basically becomes the Chuck Norris of the party.
At least you didn't roll 3 freaking ones in a row.
Oh man, that was a.
I want to change my funniest moment back to that one. 3 ones in a row. There you go.
Fight me, Tarek.
All right. Last but not least, voice. Who is your favorite party member / buddy?
The two that I enjoy. One is Faye Thurin for obvious shipping reasons and because I like the complexity of her character. The other is actually Rose, because it gives someone for Jalrim to have sort of this moral compass conversation with. And I appreciate, Sweetie, like the way you've played Rose throughout the campaign. It had helped not just develop your character, but also mine.
Yeah, and returning the compliment, absolutely. Like, Jalorm has absolutely been, in Rose's eyes, sort of a proof of humanity's ability to change, So, props on your end, too.
Thank you.
There's a kitty.
It's a kitty.
Kitty.
It's a kitty.
Oh,
It's an
Where's
Elgato.
my cat? Oh, you know what?
El
She's
gato
probably
negro.
with a turkey.
Well, you're the cat, right?
I walked right into it. I can't even get mad.
Give it pun side.
I hate all of you.
Anyway.
Love you too.
There's another kitty too.
It's Wesley.
Hi, kitty.
Like, I'm gonna pull out my rat in a second if y'all keep this up.
Josh,
Anyway.
Speaking of pun stuff.
your favorite party member's not Jaminia or Simula.
And yes, you do have.
Is
to
even
pick,
allowed to
dude.
say? It's like, wouldn't that be like?
Daddy love post.
Yeah,
Who's the DM?
I feel like if I said my favorites, it would be DM favoritism.
It's just answering which character you like most, not if you're going to like favor somebody over someone else. Dude.
I'm
Come
not
on.
gonna take that personally.
Better question. Which character have you liked seeing progress over the course of 2 seasons?
Yeah, that's a
guys,
good
I might want to pause you because that's actually going to be a dangerous thing to ask. He said he likes the characters he likes. If he says if this is my favorite character, it's basically guaranteeing he's going to put that character through hell.
Yeah,
Are you sure you want to put that bullseye on them?
Considering the module, does that make a difference?
Good point.
Okay, you've got a point. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. I do think that this point has been made before, but Thea Thurin has made the biggest character development change throughout the entire series.
Yeah.
That being said, from a DM standpoint, I actually very much do enjoy Rose.
Yeah.
Because she is I more enjoy Rose for the player because Sweetie keeps me on my toes. and she uses Rose in a way to keep me on my toes. She keeps me fresh, and I kind of appreciate that in a weird way.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's fair.
There is something about Ivan's character that I did want to talk about. That I've kind of been bending the truth about this particular thing because I wanted to save the reaction for this actual stream.
No.
But you know how in every single boss I put in a way for the boss to be beaten very quickly?
Easy mode.
Yeah. The two-headed dragon, I actually didn't put in one.
Really?
Get out.
What?
That was all me?
That was all you.
Nice. Go Fed. Go Fed. Go Fed.
Birthday. It's your birthday.
That explains that.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
In the when we were discussing it, we were like,
that. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say when we were discussing that during the planning stage, it's like we were trying to think of how do we give them, a way forward, because if they kill the thing, it's going to be even worse for them. And we end up being like, we honestly have no idea. It's like we hope they come up with something, but us ourselves, we don't really have an easy reaction. So when that happened again, I'm thinking, oh, did Josh with a solution? And it turns out, no, that was just all Finn.
Yeah, so when you heard me say, "Oh," I'm like, that was a legit reaction. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was what I wanted.
And I just remembered something. in one of your Tumblr posts, you made a post. It's like when the player successfully finds a third option when you give them a no window. That's never gonna. That's what I realized that was exactly it.
Yeah,
man. Kobayashi Maru, you.
Kobayashi Maru.
Yep.
All right. May I say mine?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think it's a surprise to anyone at this point. Owen.
Yeah.
My cup of shock has just been emptied out.
Hang on, let me get a glass to drop.
I do have a second. I love Rose a lot.
Yay, Rindy.
Rose love.
Oh, hold on. Is that for shipping reasons?
No. She drives me insane. She like. I just want to be like, woman, these people want you here. Love them. Let them love you. But then she's like, no. And I'm like, okay, I get that's in her character, but let me love you, please.
As I've said, I love how Sweetie plays her, but Rose is still my least favorite character.
That's fine. That's fair. Next question. We have these are last three.
All right.
So, play of the game from beginning to now from White Oak 019.
Oh, shit.
Man, what a Pandora's box.
Wow. So most awesome
freaking Ivan. It's like I didn't give him an opening where he could win, and somehow he found it.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so happy that it actually happened.
All right, reverse alphabetical order. Voice.
Okay. Favorite play of the game. I gotta go narcissistic. Convincing a troll to drink.
Yeah.
Nobody can fault you, dude. That was freaking
epic.
That
was epic.
The whole trial was awesome, but that was just the icing on the cake.
Tarek, your play of the game.
If I'm not mistaken, it was the battle with the Night Twist that Owen first decided to go all Hulk. Is that correct?
I am giant dwarf.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
And so, my favorite play of the game was Puny Vibes.
All right. Sweetie Bloom.
I may have to go narcissistic too because
I know it.
Yeah, Puppy Daddy.
Puppy Daddy, yes. That was adorable.
But still, it's like, that play of the game kind of has a dark side because I expected you guys to kill him.
Nope, didn't happen. We made puppies.
That's what's funny is when I got that spell, I was like, oh, I've got a way to defeat enemies passively without killing them. And so when I used it, and Josh was like, I thought you were going to kill them. I'm like, you're not understanding my character. I got that spell.
That's a funny thing. When we actually did end up turning Eimer into a puppy, my first thought was, oh, hey, let's put it into that invisible barrier thing. And so he could just so he can't get out, and he has to listen to us.
Well,
I can imagine him scratching up against the barrier, like.
If he made a dog long enough, he would have become a regular dog.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was hoping for, but that didn't end up happening.
No.
All right, Luna Corva, what is your favorite play of the game?
All right. Actually, quick question, Tarek. What episode are you up to in watching the series on BS?
I plead the fifth.
Right. He hasn't watched since his session. We all know it.
No, that's not true. I have watched since my session. Just I haven't watched that much.
Busted.
But anyway, good segue because my play of the game for the entire series was actually in that session, and it was Jalarum's speech to the party because that to me had the most wide-ranging positive effect because it finally got the team working together, and you could make the argument since if they hadn't got their sugar together, they would have probably died very quickly.
Sugar.
Look, it's an old child for the other S word. Either way, if they hadn't got all that together, they probably would have died long ago, which means they wouldn't have had the chance to do all the other awesome moments we were just talking about. So in a way, him finally getting the team to work together was the catalyst and the reason why we've got all these other awesome moments that we have now. So it was kind of like the mother of the awesome moments.
Yeah, I had Josh help me out. I had Josh help me out with this speech because I wouldn't know why. At least with some of the characters, like, okay, what would Jalrum have to say to certain people? Like how would he talk down to Ivan of all people?
Speaking of which, there is another awesome thing I want to talk about, but I'll save it till afterwards.
Okay, Lightning Bliss, your play of the game.
I am stuck between beating my own goddess at arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Or that moment with me and Owen where I knocked out that chrysalis dragon on his back.
The sapphire dragon where you're sure you.
Yeah, I just went boom. Mama said knock you out, so I'm gonna knock you out.
Again, I just love it how you were saying just a few minutes ago how you got him frustrated that Amber was basically being useless, and then in a few sessions he goes from kind of useless to basically the Chuck Norris.
Yeah. You go from I need to do more stuff to Hadouken.
It helps that the characters around Amber were very supportive in that because, everybody was telling her, you are a freaking dragon. You got this. Don't worry about it. And if you don't got this, Owen will back you up.
Yeah.
And he
Were we wrong?
No, you were not wrong.
All right, Vinny, your play of the game.
Power Love.
Yeah.
I always tried to win battles without having to harm the people. And like I said, immediately as soon as I found out that was the couple, I cried twice during that freaking session.
Yeah. That was so cute.
I know. And it's like, I wanted them to have and as soon as I found it's like the two lovers, it's like, nope, no. We're finding a different
Special Bator for Josh. Just for that part. All right, Ellie.
I'm surprised nobody has said it. Banishing the Balor.
Woo!
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think of that one.
That was a great one.
Yeah.
And Donna, your play of the game. Oh, sorry, Blissy.
I was just gonna say, did Doug know how to do that from the get-go? Did he just plan that out, or did he figure it out on the fly?
I will explain. Yes, I will explain.
Thank you.
The way you said makes it like an evil.
Okay. First of all, Josh and I had been planning that moment for a number of weeks.
Okay.
I knew that Owen's father would be showing up all by himself. And then the king and his royal guard would be showing up and the battle would begin. We would go through one full round of trying to make sense. What do we do? What do we do? And Josh would be inserting, make a listen check, make another listen check. And only then would we hear the stomping in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
I had intentionally set up a scenario where the Balor would be coming back because I knew exactly what Owen would do in an attempt to try and take it down. Because reading through that spell and knowing what the rest of the party was capable of, I had thought, I think we have a shot at this. There is an incredible story moment that could actually work if we could pull this off. So
you were going on a hunch, though. You didn't know we would succeed. You basically gambled on characters, Doc.
Yeah, but let's be fair, Bliss. When you play D&D, you never know exactly what's going to happen. Right. You always got to kind of
gamble. Lightning, you have to understand. I am a kind of person who is very good at crunching the numbers.
That's
you
true.
Really?
Accountant.
He's an accountant.
Okay, so what we're
I knew that with the banishment spell combined with the fact that every single one of us had an item that this Balor would hate. 2 of us had something that he would really hate. that would cause the rolls to go up. And I knew that we had a number of abilities that could cause his saving throws to go down. And I was going to combine that with the fact that if I could just grapple him long enough to get my curse off and make sure that his saving throws are down as far as they can go, and if the rest of the party buffs me up as far as they could do, odds are pretty darn good. And this
then
has been such a great story moment. Why we can't pass this up.
And then that roll happened.
You still gambled.
Yeah.
He still has a picture of that nat 1.
If there is no risk, what's the point of having a great story?
I'm just pointing out that you gambled, that's all.
Dude.
You didn't just gamble with cards, you gambled with our lives.
You gambled with our character lives, and I applaud you for that.
Because it turned out awesome. Yeah, it turned out awesome. I'm not complaining.
Let's acknowledge there's a difference between gambling and taking a risk.
Calculated risk.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Now, Doc, your play of the game. Is it the banishment spell, or you got another one?
I was going to say the Balor, but since I already went through that whole thing. I could say punching the Kraken in the face was fun.
Yeah!
And then at the end of that session, Lightning surprises us all with fan art she's already drawing of it.
Yeah, that was great.
That's where I'm a Punch It was born.
No, that had been born long before.
Yeah, that was like the first session.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, can I get mine?
Yep.
Yes.
Rose, a motherfucking T-Rex!
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the rules of nature moment with words.
All right. Okay, so 2 last questions. MCB Mekachu.
What?
I like the name, by the way.
Nice name.
Asked Josh, what was your hardest choice as a DM for the series?
Ooh, I want to know this too.
I think it was to allow the minions to die.
Hardest choice, honestly, for me was, I'm pretty sure, I think it was killing the child, because
yeah.
Because
I'm proud of
really
you, man.
wanted
I'm proud
to
of
do
you.
it. I thought it would be great for character development, but at the same time, I was a little concerned about how you guys would react to it.
I admit my reaction was real.
It was sad.
I was in shock. I actually was in shock for a real moment. I'm like, he did not just do that. Did he just do that?
Yeah, we have all like this. Like, what are we gonna do with the baby? And it's like you do that.
Yeah.
That you did it was not a.
It wasn't gonna live. It was the way it died that.
Yeah, no, that you didn't. That I threw out was not at Simula.
Okay.
Speaking of that whole thing.
Background for people in the stream. Josh and I knew that that was probably going to happen, and so in our D&D Skype chat, I kept bringing up the baby, and I kept if anyone remembers, Ran was shopping for baby clothes for Simula for when they got her back after she got kidnapped. Just little things that I just sort of wanted to make it hurt more, because
the knife wasn't hot enough.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Because I wanted you guys to have that emotional attachment. Just give you one more reason to hate Simula.
It unfortunately backfired on them a little bit, because I'm sitting there going, why are they pushing the baby so much on us? The baby's gonna die. The baby's not gonna live.
Like, Rose is like, Sweetie was the only one who knew not to have done it to this
they want us to be too attached too quickly, because there's no reason to start shopping for baby clothes, naming it before it's born. If it's going to get to the point of being born, we'll just wait for that later. No, let's talk about it now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
I didn't expect Josh to do that.
I don't think any of us
do
did.
that.
The poor baby.
It was going to be a miscarriage. I thought she was going to have a miscarriage, and there was going to be drama with that. That Simula would actually be surprised at herself for feeling something over the death of the child, and maybe there would be a moment between Jaminia and Simula. But we got that moment instead.
But I actually
Can I say a couple of things?
Yes, Shay?
Oh, sorry.
I'll let Ari speak first.
I actually suggested a miscarriage to Josh because, honey, I love you. You don't know anything about women's biology. So I had to actually educate him about just the normal female gestation cycle because he wanted the baby to be.
That look on his
It was really quick.
Yes.
I'm like, she should not be this far along. She should not be this far along. The whole time.
I later retconned a document saying there's a difference in biology and tieflings have a 6-month gestation period instead of a 9-month. But I know, retcons. Anyways, but I'm like, honey, you're gonna have to figure out something because if you want the baby to be as far along as she is, a miscarriage is not just gonna happen. You'd have to figure out something else. And he's like, okay, I got it. He didn't tell me what it was.
Then Josh got an idea. An awful.
Oh my gosh, stop. Right where you are.
No, stop.
Sorry.
I know.
Well, I mean,
Sorry,
I knew that a miscarriage wasn't going to happen, but there was 1.5 million different ways the trauma could happen in the settings that we were in.
Yes.
I want to hear what Luna Corba has to say.
Okay, first of all, Ari, wonderful person. I love you. There are many wonderful things about you, but you have many great qualities. Subtlety is not one of them.
Yeah, it really
I love you, but
hurt you.
But what I was going to say is, jokes about how evil I am is one thing about the death and the circumstances around it that did concern.
You keep cutting
I was
out.
somewhat
Sorry,
what
dude.
you're up to?
There's one thing about the death that concerned you.
Yes, concern me reaction-wise was that some people would assume that the manner in which she died was just trying to make some kind of political statement, which it absolutely was not that.
Oh, no.
But I was worried.
But
that
I was
people
afraid of
taken
that myself too.
All right. Last question. This is it, and then we're gonna have a free last minute thoughts thing.
Yeah.
Because it has to be slightly addressed. How much? Jason 1 asked, how much, if at all, did dropping Cross from the game affect the campaign?
Honestly, as soon as we got, honestly, it's like we kicked out Cross at a very good time.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the plot, we kicked Cross out at a very good time where it would not hurt the story in any fashion.
So honestly,
it got surprisingly naturally, given how the story was going.
Also, I was a little worried.
Can I just say something?
Yeah, I also was a little worried about having that many players, because I was planning to bring in Ravis at that time, and I was like, ooh, this is going to be tough, bringing in and balancing all these players, and then I got to remove Cross. Okay, well that's one concern mitigated.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, obviously it's not going to be spoilers considering they know that we're going to hell, but all these ideas and stuff I had for interactions between Ravis and Cross, such as, tell me something, Captain Dargo. Did you perchance get your badge from a bowl of soup? Ouch. Or when they finally meet, even when they finally meet Jaminia in hell, you're all here. Brought your pet stalker along too.
Anyways, but pretty much it didn't change much of anything.
So we still had to have those episodes where Cross did his thing because they were very important to the story. They had to happen. It would have been impossible to change it. And we had after we removed him, it's like, okay, he really had no more bearing on the plot. It's like we could take him out and the story wouldn't suffer.
Yeah.
And honestly, from what other players have been telling me, just removing him from the game as well seems to just have a positive effect on everyone's enjoyment.
Yeah, I do.
All right, and I think that's the last question. So I think we could do a final. Oh yeah, I never actually got to answer the question for what my favorite area was.
Oh yeah.
Yes. What was your favorite area?
Neither did Ari answer either.
Go for it.
Selenia!
The labyrinth.
Oh.
From a DM perspective, I can totally understand that, Josh.
Trauma.
Even though it was your character that got killed.
That just made it all the more better.
That you know how hard that was for me on a real basis, let alone
What is
a
that
character.
English?
Did you?
She's I intentionally did that because we have a little English teacher in here, and I love to make her.
Pouty face.
Did you give a smack for all of us who actually speak the language?
Because core literacy is KEWL cool.
Poor literacy is cute.
Other final thoughts?
I got Josh's character killed. I'm a terrible D&D player.
I have a final thought that I've shared with the group, but I want to share with the audience. By common DMing wisdom, Josh's campaign should not have worked. There are so many things that on paper should have been a terrible idea. Like, for instance, so we're having a GMPC. Most GMs would treat there's a GMPC the same way you would say, I'm writing a self-insert fanfic. It would be like, okay, that's going to be tricky to make that work. How experienced are you? Oh, this is my first time playing. Well, I'm sure she's just a normal... Well, she's just a normal...
They have a dragon! Oh.
Yeah, I'll get to that. So it's like, well, I'm sure this GMP is just a normal, unassuming character. Oh, she's a tiefling. Well, she probably doesn't have too large a... She probably doesn't have too large a role. Well, actually, she's a catalyst for the story. The villain is her sister, and in many ways, you can always consider the main character of the plot. Anything else you'd like to share? Well, also, we've got another player who I'm letting play as a dragon. 1 second, please. Hello, police? The fact that...
he's right. From a DM perspective, I can see at least 3 or 4 things in there that are a formula for disaster.
Yeah.
So the fact that not only did it not, crumble into disaster, ended up being genuinely excellent is nothing short of a miracle, and really, if more than anything, really illustrates Josh's sheer talent as a GM that he made that work. Like, it really is
as both a DM and a writer, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
Like, Welcome to the Show really is the eco of role-playing games to me.
Well, now I have to be fair though, because you've got to include the influence of the player selection that you have here. The people that are playing this game, I have not seen as cohesive a group of players as this group right here. I've seen these players. They're theory crafting, and they're texting each other, and they're writing out TV tropes and wikis and all of this. I have never seen a group of players do this before. So
those
honestly, my hat is off to you guys. I cannot believe how well this group has gone, and it's not just the DM, but I have to praise Josh's talent, but it's also the players.
And and a lot of us are the noobs, right?
I've never played before.
Yeah, like over half.
I talked to other DMs and I talked about our series, and They would kill to have players like you.
Oh.
Yeah,
I got
I want to run the next session. No, I did not say that. Never mind.
What?
So I basically got involved in this because this goober asked me out and asked me
face.
They fell in love.
Him out.
No, he asked me out. Huh? Anyways, but he plopped me in the
No, I
chat.
mean, if he hadn't, you would have eventually asked him out.
Nah. But he's like, be nice. She's gonna schedule, and I'm like, okay. And
Because Josh was terrible at remembering when our sessions were.
Mm-hmm.
We would be like, okay, we're all here. Where's Josh? And he's like,
Yeah, love you, dude, but you are really crap when it comes to planning.
So
when it comes to scheduling.
I got to see them behind the scenes from the time of like right before Rules of Nature. They just, I think, finished the Kraken one. And so I got to watch you guys. I got to watch Sweetie brandish her tinfoil hats. I got to see like Owen's, like Doc's victory, like during the theory calls, because I knew it was going. We had theory calls. We had behind the scenes theory calls.
Yeah.
And Doc, I could just see him plotting.
I maintain the headcanon that Dr. Wolf is secretly an evil villain plotting a world takeover.
What, have you not seen have you not seen his dream sequence?
I'm joking.
It's a joke.
Your brother has an evil mind, Tarek. I'm sorry.
That's why I was like, wow.
But can I add something to this?
Yeah, Shay.
Yeah, I think that one of the best ways I can think of to illustrate just how good a group of players you are is, you know, those memes or those jokes of expectation versus reality?
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys are basically the expectation part of the panels. You are quite literally what every DM hopes and wants their player group to be. You are like Dario.
Aww. Thanks, dude.
And we love you.
And that is why we will make you suffer.
You're making
Oh,
me
you
feel
suffered.
blood.
Oh, we suffered a lot.
On Doc's channel. Oh my! I have to keep my hands at my side.
Oh yeah. We're going down to the times of the night. You thought you suffering now.
Wait, why am I alive? I'm going to be suffering along with you.
But I will say, through all the pain and suffering and character, everything that we've been through, it's brought us all closer together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have great friends in the Brony community as you guys without this.
Yeah.
I want you guys.
It's brought us closer together with our hand on Josh's throat.
What's that, Tarek?
I want you guys to, you see, she stopped doing it, but I wanted you guys to all look at Bliss's picture. She is looking down, doing something on her desk that she's not telling us about.
Oh, I'm not drawing for D&D. It's for commission.
Yeah, I was worried that might be the case, but I was secretly hoping she might be drawing our characters while talking about us.
I'm
I was
sorry.
hoping you wouldn't work for 2 hours so you could hang with us, girl.
I got Thunderflight to work on. I got a big commission that is asking to get Euphoria, Myoc, and
How
Altus
dare you
involved.
have a life?
Put that away.
Yeah, we don't think that's
Pseudo fan art commission to do a
There,
I'm
now
the
you
one
can
who
see
does
what
the
I'm
most
doing.
D&D.
Oh, look at it. Yeah, there you go.
I'm the one who does the most D&D art, aren't I?
It's cute.
You are. But
You are.
did
It's
you do a
hard.
shameless plug?
No, that was not a shameless plug. That was thinking
No,
out loud.
permission
But
for me to do a shameless plug.
no, I'm the only shameless plugger around here. Anyway,
Okay.
go for it, dude.
Okay, for those of you listening to the stream who aren't aware, I have been making the characters of Brony D&D in Dynasty Warriors. So I have videos of all of them on my channel. You can literally just look up Brony D&D Dynasty Warriors and you'll find a playlist of all of them. Got all the party, and I've got the two main villains, Sinula and the Warden.
Yeah, and just as a reference, I have captured I have the songs and as a separate playlist on private for myself, and I've been listening to My Revolution, Haunted, what was Feel Invincible, Happy on like repeat.
Cause I'm so happy.
That reminds me. Just remembered something. I don't know who, but a fan in one of the comments asked if you could make a playlist for fans that would be basically the soundtrack, all the music you've used in Brony D&D. So have a Brony D&D soundtrack for fans to listen to. Like you make like a YouTube playlist or something like that.
That would be kind of cool, honestly.
It's going to be a bit of a side project, but yeah. Also, another small thing for the chat. While I was driving to Anna Minneapolis, it was a very long drive, and I was very, very bored. But I had company. And Shay managed to keep me company. We just started talking about random things. And then we started talking about alternate universes.
I remember reading through this. This was particularly interesting. I'll give it that.
So yeah, we started talking through all these different, like, what if, like, at the end of the season 3, like, all of the player characters, including Jaminia and Simula, were randomly dropped into a different universe.
Assuming we live.
Yeah.
Which is quite the assumption.
I'm an optimist.
Actually, I will say this. Considering where we are, it's almost guaranteed that we'll live. We'll just wish we were dead.
All right, guys, I'm sorry I have to break in here, but it's now 5 o'clock my time, and I've got to cut it off. So thank you for being in the stream, guys. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you, Tarek. See you, Tarek. Bye-bye.
Hug you.
Ciao.
Love you, Dragon Buddy.
But yeah, I gotta find a place to drop this in the chat. It's okay. So the one that we actually got the don't worry, it is.
Is the MCU
the one that we thought would be most interesting and easiest to actually do. That one? Okay. Would be to drop all of the players into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And I don't know if Josh has written it up, but we also did one before the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which was all the characters dropped into the Harry Potter world, which was fun too.
At least that fit there.
Now, I got to drop it into the actual. No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Like, I think for me, one of my favorite moments that we came up with was like because it's.
Treat it.
We started with like with him dropping around the time of the 3rd book, so we had a scenario where Jaminia actually ended up basically throwing the attack Malfoy. She throws Malfoy out of the way and takes the hit for him. So when Ellie comes to find Jaminia, she's like, just grabs Jaminia, just like, going to
the Brony D&D live stream. Okay, okay. Change of plan. I can't put it into the comment section, but I can tweet it.
Okay.
I can also put it in the description of the video if you send me a link.
Yeah, it's. I'll put that into the Google Hangouts chat. Come on, baby.
Because I thought it was different, but very interesting at the same time.
Okay, guys, we've been doing this for 3 hours. We've had a lot of fun, but like I know all the rest of you guys have stuff that you guys need to do.
Yes. I'm doing.
This was fun though. This was awesome.
This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, but yes, next time on Brony D&D, we are traveling to the 9 hells of battle.
We're doomed.
We're literally going to hell.
Oh yeah, if Katie is listening. Spoilers.
The link you put in the chat doesn't work.
All right, guys. We'll see everybody later. Doc, will you sign us off properly?
I will do so. Thank you very much to everybody who has taken part today. This has been an exceptional amount of fun, and we very much look forward to bringing many more sessions in the future. Until next time, I am Dr. Wolf, and we all look forward to hearing from you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.